Everybody who's tuned in already, y'all know we got to make sure that all the connects are together. YouTube, we're up. Facebook, we're up. Right now we have one person chilling right now. We'll see how we're going to rock. But as we continue, but this week we'd have a little bit of different ambiance as far as the music's concerned. A little jazzy sound to it, right? Hopefully everybody can hear me. This week should be a special one. This one we have a lot of information to talk about. This week we have quite a few guests that said, let's rap, let's talk about some things. All right, cool. So I guess there's some small stuff there. But I'm gonna take my hat, put it off to the side. Take my rag, wipe it off, because you know how bald head people reflect. All right, that's enough. It is Friday night. It is the 29th of October, and we're hoping everyone's well. Welcome to the show. This is the New Norm 2.0, and your boy Mo Delgado, still and forever the sexiest man in this chair, in your face right now at this hour. So we're hoping everyone is well and making sure everyone is ready for this incumbent season. Incumbent means already in place. Tight Dale. You know, we're working in the harvest, quote unquote, Halloween setting. So you'll see in the background some of the things that we have just to celebrate, little celebration type action for folks that might be celebrating, who might believe. I know I am a fan of all things Halloween, the innocent aspects, not a conspiracy theorist and stuff, because those of us who know the history know that, you know, all the stuff that you're trying to portray, not necessarily true as far as the negativity. So it's all good. But in addition to, I want to pay my respects because we're rocking pink. I don't know if you can tell, rocking pink is basic enough for all men. Pink is a good color and it's representing breast cancer awareness. But I'm rocking it for awareness in all phases of cancer. Cancer is an illness. It is a disease that's affecting more and more of us these days. And we're not necessarily sharing information. We're not careful about the atmospheres that we're in. And unfortunately, we are getting subjected to things that we can probably avoid in some cases. So this is an honor for everyone who's been affected with cancer. Whether you're fighting now or you may have lost your battle, but your legacy lives on with your loved ones. I rock pink in your honor. So I hope you don't mind me rocking my pink. Today, for anyone who is aware of how cancer is, it's a terrible issue that lingers on in our communities of color, all communities inclusive, but ours most, because our health resources, the resource that we have for health, wellness, precautionary things aren't as, I guess, not as viable, not as important to us as we sometimes should act like. And the quality of the health may not necessarily the attention to health, doctors and physicians and medical resources, research clinics may not necessarily be as available in our communities as it is in other communities. So we're struck with it. And because we have a traditional sense of always being quiet and keeping our issues to ourselves, no one knows how we're dying slowly. So, for all of you out there, I implore you to go get a scan, get an x ray, and see what it is with your body. And, gentlemen, my brothers, please be careful because breast cancer affects men too. Not only colon cancer, because colon cancer has been traditionally something that men seem to be subjected more than women, but women have caught colon cancer as well and fighting it. For those of you fighting it right now, keep fighting. We're with you. We celebrate you. Moving forward, we have to make sure that all of us in this fight to maintain health and to keep our loved ones alive. I just recently suffered a loss directly and indirectly from cancer. So I'm only celebrating in honor with them, and I hope everyone can celebrate with us. It's just not a function. It's a lot of politics behind it. But in my case, there's no politics with this. This is all in honor and respects to all those that have already fought and may have passed, and those that are still fighting. Keep fighting. I send you all my wonderful life vibrations to you, everything, all the energy I possibly can, healing and recovery. I pray for you all. May the good Lord find you worthy of recovery, worthy of full healing, full healing. So let's move on. It is October 29th, just a few days closer to Halloween. Just recently, I found some information that I found a little bit trying, a little bit kind of fearful and scary, but it's also something that I expect to hear. We know traditionally, Halloween, one of the scares that we've seen in Halloween is people who are not so kind and friendly doing nasty things to candy that's supposed to be available to children, whether the old-fashioned razor blades in the apples type story, because that was the popular thing around the time frame when Halloween the movie came out. That was actually part of the script. I think Halloween 4 or 5, where a little kid bit into an apple and boom, razor blade in the middle of his tongue. So we know traditionally that's always been a scare or something of concern to make sure that the candies are wrapped and those people are handing out candy that you are making sure you're paying attention where the candy is coming from. And those who are giving out candy, make sure you have unopened candy, everything is sealed, and just make sure whatever you give out, just make sure that it's as solid as possible and make sure it's kid friendly all the way. But here goes the concern that seems to be popping up right now. And in some cases, I know folks, some of you may not necessarily find it a concern, especially my blazers, the people who indulge. But because of the realities of marijuana now, cannabis, THC, CBD, all those factors that are chemicals inside marijuana, now these things are being utilized. These chemicals are being utilized to make cake, candy, cookies, and what have you. So candy is a concern. The latest discussion is to make sure that parents are aware of the candies that are given to your children. That some of these candies are the companies that are out there selling the edibles, the edible marijuana candy, are utilizing the same marketing, same colored candy, same shapes as regular candy that's available on the market. And so, whether it's intentional or unintentional, your children who are going out there trick-or-treating may be receiving edibles. And if you're not available to chaperone and pay attention to the candy, your child may want to pop a piece of candy in their mouth and end up with 500 milligrams of straight cannabis or straight marijuana, DHT. That's something we have to really pay attention to. So folks outside of just the norm, to make sure that no alien particles, anything that could physically harm them, causing injury in their mouths or to their mouths or down their throats or later on in their stomach, something that may not be intended to harm them, like marijuana, edibles could be given to kids out here. Or they may have stumbled onto something and assumed you got like candy sitting around your house and you're not as attentive because you guys indulge and you think you're being as responsible as you possibly can. a bag of candy gets opened up on the same counter where you may have an edible to. It gets mixed in. Then all of a sudden, a big bowl that you look like it's candy to give out to the kids also have adult candy. So we just have to be conscious moving forward about the potentials of that type of candy becoming available to our children, or that type of um, is it good to say candy? I don't know if it's the same concept, but treats. How about that? You might see a marijuana treat. So we have to be conscious of that. So that's that. And Halloween is moving up. Just as a heads up, this Saturday, which is tomorrow night, starting around 3 o'clock, we'll be doing our caravan, or our, as we say, the mobile trick or treat, trunk or treat, the mobile trunk or treat that we're going throughout the entire city. We had a successful turnout last year, and we're looking to enjoy the same thing again this year. We've increased the amount of people who will be participating, and we're gonna have a damn good old time like we did last year. It was really wholesome, and there was no politics involved. There were people that were there who were from different sides of the table, and they were respectful of what we said. If you want to participate, make sure it's not involved in politics, and make sure it's all for the kids. And we had a good time, and we're appreciative to all the police officers that participated last year. We're looking forward to the same type of coverage, same type of participation this year as we move forward. My council colleague, the Queen Latoya Dunstan, is my co-organizer with this. She's been the impetus behind a lot of the activities that we do together, and we'll continue to keep giving you the best that we can offer for our children, because our children, to us, are always the most important element of our communities. So we have to make sure that we do what we can for that. So we have that, and then just to talk local shop. But first off, let me welcome my brother Adrian to the show. What's up, Adrian? What up, brother?
What's up, cuz? How's a brother living?
I'm living pretty good. You got a delay. You got a delay in the screen. I don't know what's going on. Okay. Let me make sure I put everything up. All right, cool. So
Yeah,
I'm hoping you.
I know there's a late. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I imagine because
there's a little delay on there.
Yeah.
You want me to log out and come back in again?
Yeah, try that. Let's see if it'll link up better. Yep.
All right.
So, and Hank, if you're on the line, bro, come on through. I'm going to try to text you. We're going to open up the doors in about 15 minutes to our guests, our invited and welcome guests. See if everybody pop in. Adrian should pop in shortly. So, one of the things I wanted to touch base in the meantime while Adrian's connecting is the vaccine. Now the discussion is about children and vaccine. Pfizer has been giving somewhat of a real, I'm going to say, aggressive, very authoritative, overwhelming yes to having vaccines for children. I think the last discussions are being had in our present day, so expect that to be available for the children as far as the vaccine is concerned. And there's still a concern, there's still discussions being had as far as the vaccines and mixing vaccines. It is said, as we said before, Pfizer and Moderna having the best overall efficacy rates, and Johnson & Johnson, because of their low efficacy rates, they're suggesting that if you have taken the Johnson & Johnson, remember the Johnson & Johnson was a one-shot deal. So you have a chance, if you'd like to take a booster, to take, just make sure you let them aware that you had Johnson & Johnson, but you'll get a booster from either Moderna or Pfizer, and they're saying it's okay. Again, what I'm going to tell you is recommend always, please, look into it, do as much research as possible so you can fully be understanding of what you're looking forward to, and find out if there's any other curious side effects to look out for. Because I know when I've been vaccinated, the side effects that I encountered was ones that was expected, but that my body has been without illness for so long that when it hit me hard. So it was something that I didn't like. It was that fever. Can't stand fevers. So to the point, remember, I think I told y'all before, I was shaking so much that my entire body locked up, muscles and everything hurt because I was shaking so much. It was the, I guess, the highest degree of um, uh, fever that I had without having spiking temperatures, which was odd. So anyway, moving forward, that's what we're talking about vaccines today. It's something to be concerned about. It's something that's being pushed again. So the Food and Drug Administration is said to have or ready to give them a temporary emergency allowance for the children to get the vaccine. So remember, this is the process that took place before that gave Pfizer an opportunity to be available, and then Moderna later on, and then they both became agreed on as meeting the rates to get a full approval. So this is the temporary approvals emergency. So expect it to be available. And if you're interested as a parent, please make sure you consider everything that's had, and then hopefully you can find one. At this moment in time, it's still free to the general public, utilizing the pharmacies that are available or hospitals. However, there's at times where some of these agencies may be looking to be compensated. I don't know what it is, but I would recommend that you look at the local health departments in the county health departments to get the most accurate information to get you to where you need to be, so you don't have to worry about spending additional monies that you may not have, especially coming to this. So that's what we talk about as far as vaccines concerned. I just wanted to make sure that you may be aware what's information as it develops. We're going to be on point. We're going to make sure that you guys are aware of it. But back to my brother Adrian. Adrian, how are you, man?
A lot better. Am I still moving a little too fast? Am I still in the delay mode? I don't know. Maybe it's one of your
A,
switches over there.
a little, man. I don't know. I
Maybe
think
I'm too fast for the camera. I
yeah.
have no idea. I'm still trying to work this out.
I think it's just the situation because the weather's not that nice outside, so everybody's online.
The weather is the worst. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. I think so too. When you tend to have like water in wherever it may be. I've encountered that in the past.
Yeah.
You
That could
know,
be a case. We might have to
years
run
ago
into.
it was at the
Go ahead.
was that?
Go ahead.
Yeah, in the past, I had, high speed problems and it was at the pole. So we had to call Comcast and they had to climb the pole and there was water that was leaking in, at the pole level there.
Man, people are not
So they
aware
had to
how
change
much.
the whole thing running to my house.
Oh wow, that's big. That's big. So hopefully you got high speed now up or above 112, 150.
Yeah,
DBS is
mine's up
coming
there.
down, right?
Mine is definitely up there.
Okay,
I'm
good.
definitely up there in the ranking.
You're connected. I hear you. All right. Shabba ranking. I hear. I got you. You the man. Um.
Thank
So
you. It's required for what I do. I need to be in the.
absolutely,
I
absolutely,
can't
absolutely.
have slow speed.
Yeah, absolutely. So how was your week, bro?
Oh yeah, you were talking about it was pretty good. Not bad. Keeping busy, never dizzy. You know what I'm saying? Keeping ahead of that's what it's on.
Yeah. I wish I could say the same, man. I've been a lot. I've been in a whirlwind of confusion off and on here and there because the arrangements for the funeral and then the campaign and then making sure that the house is in
I know,
order and all
man.
this stuff.
It threw. Look, let's face it. It threw you a loop, man. Life threw you a loop. That's what happened. Curveball.
Absolutely.
That's all it
And a
really
big,
was. Like curveball. Was
yeah,
unexpected.
yeah, very much so. And a big shout out to the family for stepping in and helping out every way you possibly can. Trust me, from my home to yours, we thank you, and our hearts are open, saying thank you very much for helping us out. So, if anybody's interested in um, seeing off our wonderful queen, it'll be Friday, November 5th. It'll be held at Soldiers Home, the All Wars Memorial Building, Soldiers Home. From 11 a.m. to 1 is the viewing, and shortly after that, the repast/memorial. So, if you're available and you're interested in coming and paying respects to our mom, please come on through. Let me see.
Yeah,
Good
post
evening,
it
all. I'm beat, but
online.
I'm going to try. Yeah, exactly. I was actually going to see if I don't know if the family would be interested in seeing what I can do to broadcast it utilizing the internet. For those who may be interested, because that's what we had to do with our father. Our father was located in California, Sacramento, and for the family members that are here in Philadelphia in this East Coast, what they did is made it available through a broadcast, a YouTube broadcast. So I don't know if that may take away from the intimacy, but if that's what the family would like to entertain, we can probably see what we can do. Sure. But other than that, man, everything squared away for the week, man. Everything good.
Oh yeah, no doubt, man, no doubt.
Okay.
No doubt. I was watching the news yesterday, as a matter of fact, and
Mm-hmm.
everybody's talking about the booster. Some people are very eager to get this booster, but then that also 6 months after the booster, they're looking at a fourth one. There's a possibility there may be a fourth booster in line down the pike.
Ain't that a trip? A booster upon booster upon booster.
That's exactly what I said. I say, that a trip? It's like, wow. It sounds like, like, yeah, a car or something, hey, you got the booster here, and then you got to go get another booster to boost the booster. It's like, yo,
I
what's
know.
going on here?
I know. Every time we turn around, there's got to be something else, and I'm like, man, there's still no cure. You know what I mean? Like we should be working on that. We'll see.
Exactly. They're not working on the cure, you know what I'm saying? Because the cure will put an end to the money game. A
Oh
cure
yeah,
will put an end to the money game. Right now, it's a money game.
they figured this is probably another boost to the economy, and it's always illnesses seem to be a big economy boost to a lot of people. And that's a shame, man.
It's a boost to their bottom line, is what it is.
Hmm.
That's what basically is at the end of the day. That's why a
Absolutely.
lot of people are so skeptical and hesitant in getting the vaccine from the get-go, because they believe it's a money game,
Hmm.
with pharmaceutical companies.
Right. I'm trying to send a invite to Mark because he seems to be having more issues with his connection. So, Mark, if you're listening, I'm sending an email to Levi Construction's website and see if that can help. Earlier on, I tried to send an SMS to two people. One person linked on, but directly at 10 o'clock. So hopefully they're going to come back in a second. And the other one, Steve Young, wanted to give us an update about the local happenings that was going on.
Steve Young,
Yeah, yeah,
he was supposed to be on last week, wasn't he?
yeah, yeah. And that was that confusion again. You know, people they hear 10 o'clock, and most of the time they think 10 a.m. instead of 10 p.m. For link, we are on. Let's see. Hopefully, he'll reach out. I know his hands are full. There was a situation a little earlier today where we had a shooting at 6 a.m. in the morning, and ShotSpotter, the technology that's being used to identify what
Yeah.
areas to shoot. Apparently, ShotSpotter picked it up a little bit after 6, but it seems like the officers did not come on site until a little after 7. So there's a big concern about that.
Mm.
Then the other situation is it was apparently a 13-year-old girl was identified and was taken out of her home or came out of her home in her underwear. And the officers continued on doing a search, a body search on the 13-year-old girl, and feeling in her panties and the whole nine. And this is the allegation that's being had. I don't know how true it is, but there's enough people saying that it did transpire, so it's a concern. But they're doing this body search on this person, and then the claim of the officer was we didn't know it was a girl. So
How
that's
could
going
you
to
not
make,
know it's a girl?
yeah, this is what the claim, and this is what apparently the officer, the chief officer, said to them. Um, this was his response to a fellow colleague who made an inquiry about it, and this was the response that he gave her. We didn't know it was a girl. Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
no,
exactly, exactly.
no,
So
it
there's a
doesn't go down
discussion.
like that.
Yeah, there's a discussion to be had with that, and there's definitely some attention needing to be had on that. And one of the people that I know
A
who
lot
are,
of attention, a lot of spotlight needs to be put onto that kid there.
oh, of course, because there's multiple. It seems like there's multiple concerns about this, and I don't know. I don't know, but how it's framed, it looks like one is the officers weren't there on time, and there's a question why. recently there was just an accusation made that one of the reasons why the officers did not reach a certain location is because the people in political position, me, I was the reason why there's not enough officers on um, in day shift. Um, was it daytime? I think no. I think it was the daytime. In daytime, day shift,
So
there was no officers.
they try to pin that one on you.
Right. Like I'm the cause. Like I'm in charge of detail. Like yeah, whole bunch of stuff. But again, this is the game of politics. This is the season of politics, and these officers are
It
playing
is.
politics when they shouldn't be. You know, in a situation where you have a majority of these police officers that live out of town but yet get paid from our funds here, they should be a little bit more reverent to the political
But let's
entities that are elected by the people and reside in the people here in Lake City, and respectful of the people they're speaking to who are calling for their help. So we will.
but look, Mo, let's be logical here for a second. First of all,
Mm-hmm,
you're not the mayor. Okay, so
right.
when it comes down to saying that you're the reason, you can't be
Mm-hmm,
the reason because you're not the mayor.
right.
Second of all, one man is not city council. There are other members on city council. One man just doesn't run that shit. So that whole entire argument is not.
Mm-hmm,
That's it in a nutshell.
right. So these are the claims that are being had, and these are the claims that we will address. We will address them in their proper framework, and we will make sure that a proper answer or solution will come about from this apparent problem that exists. So that's what's happened in past days. What's sad to say is that we've had again, it seems to be like a roller coaster ride. Of sometimes you have some quiet in the community, and we really enjoy those days when we're quiet and there's not a lot of activity. Activity means crime and violence, especially gun violence. Then we see some spikes, and recently we've seen a lot more activity than uh, we are comfortable with. And this last activity, I think it was a young lady that got shot, and I think that's the case. I think I read that story not too long ago, or earlier today. I think the storyline was that Breaking AC has the information available on her website, Linda Cohen, and she identified the situation that was surrounded by I would say a raid, for lack of better term. It was drugs and guns apparently was being sought, and there's allegations being made about people getting caught. If that's the case, then hooray, no more guns, or at least those guns are taken off the street. But this is where the altercation took place, where a 13-year-old was searched, 13-year-old female was searched. So we want to make sure that it gets covered properly and it's addressed properly. So I thought Brother Steve, which is usually one of the Argonauts fighting the issues that we have sometimes dealing with the interpersonal relationships or lack thereof with the police department and the community, he comes on and he gives us some more details, close to us, on point, perfect, factual information as possible. So I'm looking forward to him to come on a little on today. Brother Hank Green is another gentleman that wants to be on. He wants to come on, and he was on at 10 on. We didn't get a chance to really clock in. As I told him, I said, we give us about 10:30 before we open the doors to everybody. So he might be coming on soon. Hank Green is a candidate for school board. And Hank Green recently
Okay.
was seen at the last school board where there was a large population of people who were there in support of the then candidate for superintendent, now the appointed, chosen superintendent, Dr. Laquetta Smalls. And congratulations to her. Well, he was speaking about the process, and they brought up interesting fact. One of the questions that was had, and it seems on Breaking AC, that the president of the school board was questioned, why was there a rush? Because the contract suggests, the contract with the superintendent that's going out, Barry Caldwell, was apparently a 1-year contract that started sometime in June. So if that was a 1-year contract, there was not a alleged lapse as in October 30th. This is the discussion that was had to the general public. that there was a need to choose this position or fill this position because as of October 30th, the contract with the acting superintendent of schools will not no longer continue, and there will be a gap from October 30th until January 1st. So the discussion again, this is the question marks in between. And Brother Hank Green, as he's coming on, he'll be able to elaborate about that. But the question that was posed is, why was the superintendent chosen to fill in a gap that apparently doesn't exist because the superintendent chosen was still doesn't take office until January 1st. So why was the decision made on October 30th? And my brother Henry Hank Green had posed the question: why so soon for an election? Do you void the candidates incoming, or it could be the same ones, not the chance to be able to decide and look as representatives of the community? So that's that point. But because of that point, perfect segue, I'd like to introduce my brother Henry Hank Green as he comes onto the show. Welcome to the show, bro. How you doing this evening?
Thank you, bro.
Hi,
I
how you
appreciate
doing?
that. How you doing? How both of you doing tonight?
Blessed be up.
You know,
Excellent, man. Excellent. We're doing well.
you guys been having a good segment. I heard all the things that you was talking about with the COVID and something else that you brought up too that I didn't write down. I wish I would have wrote it down so that I could follow back up with it.
Okay.
With the COVID also. Um, and I would like to speak about that too, if that's okay, before I get into to
It,
that. Is that all right?
bro, you can. This is the show where we all have a conversation. We share
Sure,
in our
sure.
own opinions. Feel
Um, and and like you said, with the COVID right now, you're getting the extra boost shots. I was one of those people initially. My real concern was not knowing um what we needed at the end of the day. I didn't want to keep taking a bunch of shots. I wanted to wait and find out what we had and let everybody else be the test dummies, really,
right.
and figure out what's going on, and then take a shot that I need to take at the end that I know that's going to do the job. And right now, it seems like we still basically don't understand that, know that people are still getting COVID even after they done been vaccinated, had the 2 shots and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
I've been still sick. I had the COVID, been vaccinated, and I'm still sick
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean. Still, still feel like
That's
and
right.
and in my own city, I can't really go nowhere to go find out on a regular basis where did I catch the COVID again, or
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where to go at. When I talk to my own personal doctors, I was at the doctor's office and I was telling them about my symptoms and things like that while I was in their office at Atlantic Care,
Mm-hmm.
and they basically sent me out the office and said, "Call me on the phone."
You're all man.
And I'm like, all right, well, when I had the COVID, when I caught it the first time, I'm like, all right, well, what do I do? They basically just stay home, drink some orange juice and some tea, and hopefully they don't get worse.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like really, the message was really conflicting. And now that we've gotten to where we've sent our kids back to school, we made everything normalities and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
and we still really don't have no answers to the problem. We take a lot of people have taken it. I do believe that the vaccine has stopped where people were dying
Mm-hmm.
at that point. But now you still can catch it and still be sick and still transfer it and pass it on. Um, it's just disheartening when people don't trust what's going on and they don't really have the answers and they're telling you to do things in the way that they're trying to force you to do things when they really don't have the answers to back up a lot of the stuff that they're trying to make you do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard for a lot of people, and it's not wrong when people say, "Well, hold up, I have a lot of reasons not to trust the medical society or different things that have happened and how things have been done in the past, and the
Mm-hmm.
fact that you guys don't know." For me, I believe that, but at the same time, I'm like, I need to take it because it's not about me. It's about me having it and spreading it to someone else. And really, my reason is only reason for doing it. Because if it was about me, I wouldn't have taken it.
Mm-hmm.
It was about the fact that I didn't want to be in other places where I'm in. I talk to people a lot of times. I'm in these type of positions, trying to be on a political stage,
Mm-hmm.
and I probably need to make sure that I'm not the one that's transferred and passing it and try, if that's going to be the case, they done shot me up from tetanus shots when I was a little kid and things like that. And so this is no different than that,
Hmm.
honestly. But what I mean, we just know how this society have been, especially for the poor.
That's right.
Um, and I just was just listening to you guys and just having information on it and talking about it. A lot of times
Hmm.
we don't know. Right now, again, I want to go take a test again. I'm like, well, where do I go to go just to see if there's something more? Because my own doctor in Atlanta care didn't really try to, they like just go home and I'm like, all right, I've been sick like this for 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
Do I
Yeah.
go? Like basically, I've heard that you just go to the hospital, to the
The urgent care.
urgent care.
Right.
And I'm like, man, that's the only place we got to go. There's a lot of people. I mean, you can go and get a vaccine easy because that's the moneymaker, like
Right.
you said. You know what I mean? Gee, you said earlier, it's a money. It makes money. This whole vaccine things make money,
Hmm.
and that's what a lot of that stuff is about.
Yeah.
Getting it out there, getting their quotas for that money, for sharing it and spreading it and getting it out there, and we just have to wait and see what happens and how this affects us down the road.
Yeah. One of the things that we try to do here, because Adrian and I both in the very beginning, we were really conscious about making sure that we gathered as much information as we possibly could, and we shared all the information, pro and
Correct.
con, because it was really important that we stay as important as possible. But like you said, and Adrian mentioned quite a few times, our decisions to vaccinate had to do more so with our loved ones, to making sure that we didn't infect them or
Right.
carry the virus that possibly could have brought the demise to someone I love very dearly. So it was not about our own desire for ourselves, but we're being responsible men as we are. We did
Yes.
what we have to do, and still until this point in time, because Adrian and I are both fully vaccinated, but we're still very cognizant of the fact that this COVID seems to carry on people like a bad credit. It never goes anywhere, and it seems to follow people and haunt people in
Yeah.
ways that we don't like.
It's, I've heard this. I've heard this is going to move from a pandemic to an endemic, whereas this is
Mm,
going to be with us for many, many years to come.
Mhm.
Come Monday, five cops in New York will be terminated. A lot of
Mhm.
them don't plan on getting vaccinated. So New York City is having a problem. As of today, the mayor said about 88% of the police departments in New York have been vaccinated. So then
Mhm.
you have the other group of people that had a serious protest in New York today, based on vaccination, and it's going to be again tomorrow. So a
Yeah.
lot of people is still on the fence, but it is a personal decision whether or not you want to do it for your family members and yourself, to tell you the truth, because you could
Yeah.
have it. I know someone is laid up in the hospital right now with COVID for his life. And the girl that he was actually with, she had COVID and she passed it over to him. They cared about
mm.
each other, but now he's fighting for his life. And she's
That's
feeling
tough.
guilty because she gave it to him, or she believed that he gave it to
Yes,
her,
she
or
did.
vice versa.
Hmm.
That's so
So
tough.
this is, so it's a personal decision.
Mhm.
Someone says it's an unselfish decision at the same time, because you look for other people rather than looking out for yourself. That's what a society and community is supposed to do. But you have a lot of people here saying, I'm going to take it, forget about it. Friends of mine have gotten it and they don't plan on taking it. Of
And,
entire
and and and
family.
and
Because
that
God
leads in
forbid that if this thing jumps on you, it's,
Right.
go ahead, sorry.
and that leads into
Go ahead, Henry.
that leads into the council. I mean, into the school board meeting about community, in which you said, and the personal responsibility for community versus self. It's the issue that we're
Correct.
having right now is community versus self, and you have a lot of individuals looking for at self and not looking at community, and they're not seeing the backlash
Correct.
from the board's responsibility of what they're supposed to be there for, which is the children. And everything has become politicized
Correct.
in our environment here in Atlanta City. In
Mhm.
fact, it's always been politicized since inception.
Right.
Since Nookie Johnson days, since before Nookie Johnson, they were selling votes and buying votes
Correct.
and buying
Yes.
jobs and buying opportunities
Mhm.
um, here in Atlantic City. And this is what this city has been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And the people who are elected to these seats, promise different things to have the position for different reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And what one of the one question that I want to ask is when, and I'm not talking about anybody in particular,
Mm-hmm.
when when they say right now, our time, it's our time. And I'm not talking about you, Mo, or anything like that. But
Right. Right.
when
That's
they
like crazy.
say when
Right.
they say it's our time, I'm trying to figure out what does that mean.
Who's that hour? Right.
It's our time. When it's our time because for me, when it's our time, it means something different. I think Mo, for you, it means something different.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If you say it's our time, Mo, I believe you talking about all of us in the elevation of our community as a whole. It's
That's
our
right.
time.
Absolutely.
I don't think that you're saying it's our
It's subject
time.
to
I'm
interpretation.
Right. I know what you're saying. You're not talking about a small cellular group of people speaking about themselves. It's our time, like it's an entitlement or something deserving of it.
right.
Exactly, and
Eh, eh,
that's sometimes the air that you'll get from some people when you get that. And I appreciate the fact that you mentioned that because it's my slogan. But I thank you that you brought it up because I wanted people to understand that our to me means the entire city, all of us representative, all the community. We can't be misled no more by a small little cellular group that's only done things for themselves. It is our time to get the benefits of the city. It's our
Your
time to be more involved. That's what
your is total opposite
right,
of what because they're saying what you're saying,
right.
but they're not meaning what you mean and
Absolutely.
what your principles are. They're saying it's our time to do what the other people before us, the masters, the slave masters, the people who've taken
Right.
advantage of us, it's our time to do the same thing they did
To reap the benefits off of our backs. Right.
off our backs.
Right.
Correct.
And that's what that school board is saying.
Right. Right.
It's our time to have a black woman in position to do the same things that they've been doing. It's
Mm-hmm.
our time to have somebody from our community, and really they've been doing that for the last 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've been having somebody that look like us,
Mm-hmm.
treat us and do us in a way that's similar to the people who we despise. This is not 1970, 1960, where all the black folks are saying we have a common enemy and we're going against them. We all need to band together to get opportunities and jobs for people that look like us in position of responsibility and power to facilitate, what I mean, our message and our desires and things that we need. And we had that in the era, in that era, in that time. But now we're in an era and a time where they're using that same message as if they're trying to promote those same things. And what they're doing is not doing promoting to benefit us and elevate us as a community, but to do as the person that's been taking advantage of us, utilizing the positions and the titles for those particular things and forgetting about and doing the same things that we would say that a racist would do.
Right. Right. Before we come, and I don't mean to interrupt it, but I wanted to make sure I was showing a little earlier the screen that we have, and it just identifies the different locations that are available in Atlantic County to still get the COVID test themselves. So if you run in a situation like my brother Hank and you don't know where to go to, these are just sites that still made it available. The CVS pharmacies in Pleasantville, Brigantine, Egg Harbor Township, the Walgreens in Pleasantville and Northfield. If you look at this, you'll understand that all these are offshore. The only thing what we have available in Atlantic
Absolutely.
City is Atlantic Care.
See, and I was at Atlantic Care and I didn't couldn't get it at Atlantic Care, so I don't think you can get it at Atlantic Care.
Okay. So
Um,
this is from the
The
Atlantic County
CVS
Health
is much
Department.
more convenient that you can get in there.
Oh yeah. Yep. Yep.
and see,
It
this is
is.
what we're talking about and the
Mhm.
value of things that are important to our community. If we want to keep our people alive and having things available to them and right here in the shore where everything happens here all the time, anytime else, we should have all those different stops and many more stops available in our city. There's no reason that it should not be. That even if you're doing them at Walgreens or CVS or whatever it is, they should have the test there too.
Yeah. And you would think because we have the most population in the highest amount of population in the community, in the county, and the most amount of people that travel in and out of the county, it would make more sense to have testing sites and vaccines available here in Atlantic City versus someplace else.
Absolutely, because we should have that because, like they said, a lot of stuff with the needles and everything else, they send in people here and extra people here. We need those extra resources to take care of these extra individuals that we are tagged with taking care of and being responsible for.
Absolutely.
And we have to have individuals pointing that out so and having a plan to facilitate being able to really deal with those particular things.
Yep. It's always us versus them, and it's sad because it's the cycle. It's an overwhelming, overlapping cycle of always us versus them, and it's always the have versus the have-nots. And it's a shame because even in the institution now, in this day and age, at the year 2021, we still have remnants of the same old monster that we have of divide in our society that we've had for generations. Whether it's based off of race, based off of the economics. There's always some bitterness, and we see it. It's always displayed how inner city dwellings or inner city residents don't get the same type of attention and resources that suburban areas do. And more specifically, it seems as people of color always seems to get the last bit of the resources and the least amount of opportunities that are easily more readily available in communities outside that are not of color. So it's a concern. It's a big concern that we need to always make sure that we speak freely about it and speak often about it and every dais, every opportunity, because we can't be quiet. One of the things I totally respect from the Jewish population is they never let you forget the Holocaust.
Never.
And in respects to that stuff, it should be reminded. We should always remind ourselves of the hardships that people have had, but we should also be included in sharing our hardships, whether in the past or the ones we're still experiencing right now, so we can be more empathetic and then be more service one another as human beings as we should. If this is the claim that we're a society that's all inclusive.
Absolutely.
Welcome to my brother Mark Anthony Rassman. Good evening, my brother.
Hey, bro. I'm sorry I'm signing on late. You know, we talked earlier. Hey, what's happening, Adrian? You all right?
What's happening, Mark? How you doing?
Hey,
Always,
hey,
brother.
Henry.
Good
Hey,
to see you
what's
as
going on,
always.
man? It's good
How
to
you
see
doing?
you guys. Good to see you guys. I'm just finished taking care of my wife. You know, as you guys know, she's still recovering, and Mo and I spoke earlier today.
Tip
Mo,
my head to the queen. Right.
much love and respect. Much love and respect, man.
Right.
For the prayers, and again, my prayers to you and your family, bro.
Absolutely.
As you continue to go through,
Certainly.
man, probably the worst 7 months that any man could probably ever go through.
It's tough. It's tough.
And you're wearing it well.
Thank you, brother.
You're wearing it well. Somebody asked me, I don't even know what the topic is, but somebody asked me today, they said, Mo has a great chance of winning, but he's just not out there. And I said, if you went through what Mo has been through over the last 7 months, I said, I think Mo has done one damn good of a job being present, being attentive, being assertive, being informed, being able to communicate with the public, and the whole 9 yards. So I don't know what Mo Delgado you know, but the one I know, you won strong, brother.
Thank you, brother.
You won strong, brother.
Not to intervene on the swing, so I really appreciate the love that you're giving me. But I think you have a unique perspective that is shared, Brother Hank was telling us about his situation with COVID-19, getting sick and feeling like left without some sort of recourse. Now, post-COVID, post-vaccination, and I know you were saying before you had that same situation somewhat. You had COVID early on,
Yeah.
recovered. Now you're fully vaccinated, but still the concern of whether the virus can still affect your family still exists, and now even more so with your wife being such a tender situation that we have to be even more assertive that keep her shelled away from a virus like that. Each one of us have family members that are tender. Their health is tenderized because of the circumstances and other things that we have to really move forward, man. But you see how we linked all of us. We love our family members and the loved ones so much, and we're willing to sacrifice whatever we need to make sure they're good. But the truth of the matter is that this virus is still hitting at us and I say following us like bad credit.
But you said post COVID, but we're not there yet.
No, not there yet. Not overwhelming. Our own personal experience. We've already experienced. Some of us.
They haven't found a cure yet. They haven't found a cure yet. They're finding more boosters than they're finding cures these days. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man, yes.
Mo, you were on the phone with me when I was at the pharmacy trying to fill a prescription.
I heard that.
Right.
I heard
And you know, I had waited in line about 45 minutes. Other people, mostly the elderly, getting their third booster shot, you know, their third, vaccination and this and that and the third. And I coughed.
Mm-hmm. Woo! Watch out, boy.
Yeah.
Everybody scattered.
Yeah.
Everybody scattered. Had on the exit, huh? That's a good way to clear the room without pulling the fire log.
Bruh, all I did was cough. I mean, and I did like this because, and when I did that, everybody, like, it was just like a pin drop. It was silence, and everybody stopped and looked at me. And I literally said, I'm vaccinated. I just coughed.
That's all you. Sure you are.
Hey, Martin, you have to turn around that says, here goes the proof right.
Adrian, you're cutting out. You're cutting out on my end.
Yeah, Hank just said something and it didn't come through on his end either. And again, if anyone's paying attention, because of the inclement weather that we're facing right now, and everyone's being online right now, there's a possibility that you'll see some delay. You might see some freeze. Trust me when I tell you, it's not intentional. Although I know sometimes we like to play games, we're not intentional. This may not be Adrian's family in India messing us up again. We're good with them. We're good with them. We're good with them.
They're vaccinated. They're vaccinated.
Oh, right. Exactly. So
they're vaccinated now. They're waiting on the second booster after the booster.
Oh my goodness.
Right. True that. So we're all just dealing with whatever it is available to us. The internet is just not necessarily that kind.
Well, you're ready. We're getting the brunt, the back end of the nor'easter, and we're getting ready to get some bad weather over the next couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
Atlantic City, specifically the northeast was spared tremendously.
Yes, we were.
We were spared again, and but I know once you get up to that Passaic County, and that North Jersey area, they were hit. They were hit terribly, and the Poconos.
Hi, Jess.
No, I love you. I was at Pitbull concert.
What? You're not still there?
Te quiero mucho. Te amo.
Te amo también. Thank you, baby.
That's my neighbor. That's my neighbor.
She's one of the New Norm family too. She was on a couple times late at night with us, talk about different things. She's part of the family.
Yeah.
She's good.
Yeah. So listen, this storm ain't over. This storm ain't over, y'all.
Right.
We supposed to get a couple. We supposed to get a couple nights. Tonight. The winds are picking up. I'm sure it's very, very windy. If you're in Atlantic City, where I'm at, it's pretty windy here.
Yeah.
You know, the tides are rising. You know, we know we're gonna have the floods.
Oh yeah.
You know,
And
we know the pump stations aren't gonna be working.
And look, I live right in front of the doggone pumps. I never
heck
see them
yeah,
working.
heck
Never.
yeah.
Yo, the baby empty.
Well, hey, you can let us know if it's working then. Let us know if it's working.
Yeah.
It ain't working. It never works.
No, I mean, according to the powers that be,
Right.
according to the powers that be, it needs to be turned off and turned on manually, and
Like
they
instead of
didn't
an
have
automatic,
somebody
right.
to be able to
They
turn
say
that
they're
on.
working.
Yeah.
Oh man, that thing.
Just elaborate a little bit more with
Hey,
brother.
Hank, maybe they don't get the electric bill on that pump.
Yeah.
Say that again, Adrian. What you say?
I said maybe electric bill on the pump.
It's electoral. It's election based. That's a shame.
I don't know. I don't know. Look, the bay be empty. I mean, the bay might be empty on my street, and then the street might be filled with water.
It's the sad truth. But just in case you're paying attention, if you're concerned about this weather, this is the discussion based on the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Association. This is where all the weathermen get their weather on this side of the planet. So it is suggested a 70% likely shower and patchy fog for the rest of the evening, 40% chance of rain duration of Saturday, up to the evening when it's just a chance of rain. So hopefully it won't be raining or no kind of moisture when it's time for us to execute the parade, the trunk or treat. But if the situation does go, we're going to do it on Halloween.
Oh, hold up. Where's that going to be at, Mo?
We start uptown, which will be at the Uptown Complex School on Saturday.
Okay.
And from there on, we'll follow a path throughout the entire city and hit most of the community. I'll make sure you're aware because I want you to participate like anybody else who's interested in participating. Come on out. We usually have a slamming great time because we play music. Sometimes we'll play Thriller, Michael Jackson, all the Halloween-oriented music. And we give out bags of candy to the children that are enclosed and make sure all of us have gloves and stuff like this. We keep our mask on to make sure that we're keeping our health initiative still executing, and we give it out to the entire community.
Well, listen, if you ain't gonna play Thriller, it ain't
on, man. It's on. We got our last year. We did a couple steps of Thriller last year.
I know some people, made some jokes about
Hey,
you and your
you
little
gotta,
costume.
hey, Mo, you gotta play the Monster Mash also.
That's how it
It's
happens.
the most.
But there's some things, man, we just don't need to get away from, and that's just having good family fun.
Exactly. That's us, man. We're going to keep doing it. Nothing stops us but us. And it comes to this world of politics and politricks. I've talked to you brothers endlessly about different things. Y'all know my opinions about basically. But ultimately, when it comes to the small-ass piss town that we have, small little town, we take politics and let it rip us apart and not recognizing that the true winners of this politics are people who don't even live here.
Yeah.
They can't wait to have us divided. They can't wait to keep controlling us, utilizing one against the other. They love to see us in chaos. They love to see us breaking apart and stabbing each other in the back and selling each other out because they love to have some fodder in their discussions in their elite circles and their elite groups of how bad these urban communities are and how they want to develop everything, steamroll everything out and just make big casinos. And so it's part of the agenda. And some of us really don't think about it, and just play into it. But
well, let me throw a Jimmy Whitehead moment in here.
Well, we have the ability to change that. You see what I'm saying? Ability
I
narrative.
throw Jimmy Whitehead in a moment. It's a new day.
Go ahead, brother. We always open up to everyone, whatever you like to speak about. So you have an opportunity.
I mean, it's a new day. So being that it's a new day, that means the pump's going to work tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You
right?
think so?
Hey, Mo, I want to kick you with a rebuttal to that. Help this. How about building back better? How about that one? You build back better because that's what Atlantic City really needs. They need to really have a comeback here.
Until November 2nd, we got to deal with certain things. We got to deal with a new day, a great day, someday, today, tomorrow,
fantastic
whatever day you want to call it. Whatever day you want to call it. Right now, I'm just going to say it's a new day.
Mm.
You know,
Sunday.
and yeah, I just believe, brother Henry, that your pumps are going to work.
Yeah.
They're
I
going to pay the
believe
election
that
bill
your pumps are going to
eventually.
work.
They get that election bill paid.
But will it stop flooding?
Huh?
But will it stop flooding?
Well, I mean,
That's enough. That's enough. That's a horse of color, Hank.
well, I
You know
mean,
what?
if it's a new day, then yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if the pumps work, then the flooding stops. I mean,
I
it's so
mean, you
simple.
would
All you
think.
got to do is just say a word and it appears, right?
You know what it reminds You know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the old slapstick comedies back in the day where a person's in a dinghy. There's a hole in the dinghy, and he's grabbing water from in the bucket and throwing it out the bucket, and it goes back into the water continuously in the
Yeah,
water
it could go back in there, right?
over and over and over. It reminds me of that, and it's sad because we know the issue is climate change. We know that this island is low on the water table. All these
And
things are
sinking.
real. We know, and we exactly, and there's a degree of lean to it. So we know there has to be a large infrastructure project to really help us avoid what's inevitable, which would mean all of us underwater. But there's so much emphasis on one side or another. That's like having 2 blocks. You have a pump working just for the 2 blocks, and then the 2 blocks on the side of those don't have
Right.
nothing. So
Right.
if you put in water, the water's coming in and cyclical. So our entire city has to be dealt with intact and not just pieces. And that's what.
Hey, Mo, let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Albany Avenue, right?
Right.
Did you see the construction going on there?
The project's development for the pathway towards Stockton, yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, before that. Before you get to Beta Field.
Right, the car wash.
Before that.
At Wellington Avenue or whatever that road is, right there.
There you go, my brother. See,
West End.
There you go, my brother.
West End that
There
turns
you
into
go.
Wellington,
There
right?
you
Okay.
go. See, sometimes I just want to know other people know the city like I know the city.
Okay. Right.
So you saw the construction going on there, right?
No.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
It
okay.
should be. It should be though.
Oh, okay.
On the corner?
At West
bro.
End.
Yeah, bro. Yeah,
right
bro.
there
West
with
End
the
Avenue.
with the fork and all of that stuff.
Okay.
Okay.
Next
So
to
Henry,
LEDs. It should be.
so Henry, you seen it?
Yes, it floods there horribly.
Okay, but you seen the construction going on there.
I seen something going on there, and I hope it was construction.
Okay, well, yeah, that's all I'm pointing at. So we constantly doing things on the south side that's working. But the north side, we don't seem to be able to get it right or fix it.
Get the attention. Okay. I get what you're saying. That project, if I'm not mistaken, is part of the same project because it was the only way that parcels of Ventnor was able to evacuate, and Wellington Avenue / West End Avenue got prioritized because the amount of water, the evacuation project.
Wow. That's just amazing to me that we prioritize Ventnor and Margate as the evacuation route.
Mm-hmm.
So therefore, the south side of Atlantic City gets taken care of, while the north side has no escape.
Well, question about that:
Uh-huh.
How are they gonna secure that side? Because there's no boundaries there. There's no bulkhead. There's no bulkhead along there.
There is a bulkhead, but it's like beat up, beat down, and extra low. It should have been built up a lot more. We're talking about 4 or 5 feet in addition to what's there. But there was monies available through the National Department of Transportation to also lift the road up, and in addition to that, we would create that type of bulkhead wall, seawall type thing.
Right.
But the problem of the factor is, it can do our city. Then you have to make sure that you have Ventnor involved because Ventnor Heights available. Because if not, water will find a way to get back in, and that's one of the issues. And then the other side is that I don't know who incredibly created this issue. At one point in time, Atlantic City goes into Egg Harbor Township, and then Pleasantville, Egg Harbor Township claims a part of our exit road, but doesn't necessarily pay to maintain it. And that's the problem that we're having. The Department of Treasury should be dumping. Well, we're hoping that this infrastructure bill, the national infrastructure bill from Congress that Biden was proposing and hopefully agreed on soon, will be able to find funds for us in the millions to be able to address these specific issues, and then paving the entire city, because our city is all beat down and it needs more.
What I can tell you, Mo, and you know this, and I know you're not probably at liberty to speak on it, but what I can say to you is this. Because of the city of Ventnor and the city of Margate, and because West End is an indoor and is an interior and exterior emergency route for both towns, you already know that is going to be and is
a
under
priority.
already contract under the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
So Henry, that bulkhead that you're talking about, you can see a bigger, better, greater bulkhead being built on the Black Horse Pike, as well as all of that interior West End bulkhead leading into the $20 million project that's going into Busby Village right now.
Right.
Through the Atlantic City Housing Authority. It's all a grand scheme of the whole entire environment. I'm not stupid, slow, dumb, or retarded, and I'm not what. And I was born, but I wasn't born yesterday.
I could dig that.
Right.
Okay. So, do I know the plan? Yes. Have I seen the plan? Yes. Are we as minorities involved in the plan? Hell
No.
Hell no. We're not involved in the road construction. We're not involved in the Atlantic City Housing Authority, revitalization of Chelsea Heights. I know Jimmy Whitehead is talking about this CBA, this bullshit, and this CBA, that bullshit. You know what? Pay me my $100,000, and then we can talk about all the other stuff you want to talk about.
Right.
Until then, take your ass back to D.C. and I'll see you in court. Let me tell you that point blank.
There we go.
As far as all of the rest of that stuff is concerned, bro, listen, y'all want to celebrate New York Avenue getting repaved? You know what? God bless you. I own half the goddamn block. So, I mean, I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it. It only took 25 years.
And it still ain't complete.
And I'm sorry, I grew up at 1461 Adams Court, New York Avenue, Townhouse Terrace. And I own a third of that whole entire 1400 block of Drexel, 1500 block of Mediterranean Avenue, the whole 9 yards.
Oh, I seen one of your houses right there. I just rode past it
bro, all
today.
you got to do is, bro, listen, anytime you see red, you know it's mine.
It's not McDonald's. It's not McDonald's.
I saw the logo on the side, the whole little painting on it. I was like,
you can't ask for fries.
I can't take the logo everywhere, but if you see that color red, as Mo said, it ain't McDonald's.
Right. Can't get no fries. Right.
Okay, you know, we just trying to work and build together, but we can't do that when they're putting that kind of money over in Chelsea Heights.
So,
okay, Elizabeth Terenick is doing an outstanding job.
Who?
With AC Devco.
Terenick.
Elizabeth. I know Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Okay, Elizabeth.
She's cool. She's cool with me. Can't knock her hustle.
She's doing an outstanding job with the Chelsea Heights revitalization project. The houses that I own and currently are revitalizing on the north side that are only worth $70,000, $80,000, $90,000. You go to Florida Avenue, and even before rehabilitation, the house is worth $170,000, $180,000.
Yeah, them old school houses. I love them suckers.
Okay, and you're talking about row homes, Mo. You see my work. You want to talk about somebody that's going to make a difference, somebody that's going to make a change? We need a Mo Delgado in there. Okay, we need a Tom Forkin in there in the administration.
Okay, Tommy, shout out to Tom Forkin.
You know, we need that. We need that. You know, I ain't got no love loss for the current administration. Period.
Hey, Mark. You know what? I talked to Tommy today, and me and Tom talked today. I can honestly say, ever since I've been doing this, the only person that has supported me every time I've tried to do something was Tom Forkin.
All right,
bro. I'm not even talking about the support. I'm talking about the information.
Information, the knowledge, the perception,
information, the knowledge, the business acumen, the community involvement, the whole 9 yards. Okay, there's nobody more
but check this
active and
out.
involved
But
over
I
the
told
last
him,
7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years than Mo Delgado.
But check this
Let
out.
me be extremely clear in that.
Huh?
Let me be extremely clear in that.
Say it again.
Gina Farmer came at my neck. She said, you're confusing me. Gina, I'm saying to you, I gave you my number. You saw my message. You didn't call me. That's on you. I'm not confusing your message. You just chose not to call me. Mo Delgado is the only person that is in the community every day of the week for the last 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 years. There is not one other person in the city of Atlantic City that is better informed as it pertains to the business acumen and the city legislative branch and getting the state of New Jersey out of Atlantic City than Tom Forkin.
Right. And you said the exact same thing that I think. As far as his thing with the state and all of that, he's great at that. Mo is more to the people and with the people.
Together they make a great team.
And with the people feel and the people's pain and the people's anguish, Mo is in touch with that aspect of the city of, you know what I mean? That's where he
together, and I post this all the time. Together we are stronger. Together they are stronger.
Brother, I love you and I thank you so much for that. But let me just stop this because I want you to understand that I appreciate when you guys speak of your hearts freely. But it ain't got to be the Love Mo show. I love y'all to death, and we know what it is, and we know what we need to do. So,
until November 2nd, with all due respect, I'll sign off now. But I don't have another thing to say other than, and I mean this, man. I mean this from my heart. You know it. Until November 2nd, bro. I don't give a darn about COVID. I don't give a darn about Biden, Kamala Harris, Murphy, any of them. Only thing I care about is November 2nd, and that the two of y'all get in office. Y'all go ahead and turn this thing around and kick these jerk-offs out of office. Woo. And guess what? If y'all do both moves, I can tell you this, and I say this with my heart and with passion. Nigga, I'll still be here when you done. You feel me? Okay?
I got something.
Listen, I'm going to be honest because I'm going to sign off on that. Because I'm going to say it again. I'll still be here when you're done. I was here before you got here. I'll be here when you're done. And when you're done, we're going to do what we got to do. Because what you doing ain't shit. Mo, I love you.
Love you too, brother. I do. I love you, man.
Hey, peace, bro. I love that. Because that's how we got to keep it. Gully.
Dropping the mic.
Yeah, bro.
Bam!
That's what I'm talking about. Oh, man.
Mo, how long is your show usually on?
We put like 3 hours, bro. We do 3 hours from 10 to 1.
Oh.
The third hour is past my bedtime, all right?
Yeah.
That's when I go to La La Land.
You start around 12, you start getting dizzy.
Oh, yeah, we get it. Depends on the conversation because we really early.
Dozing off. You know, hey, God said it's a shame to go to bed, late and wake up early. That's me. I don't want to be doing that.
Hey, the brother was keeping it real.
Man,
the brother
good health and wealth.
That's right.
Yo, And that was a good segment right there. You know what I mean? The brother was really keeping it real. He was putting some things out there. And that's the thing about it. The community, the people don't know little tiny aspects of different things that are going on. And you get to get on shows like this and hear some of the things that are behind the scene that are truth
And that's
that that you might not know, because all we know is what we see and what other people are talking about sometimes. And sometimes those things are not really what's real.
yeah, we don't get all the details, and that's what we always try to do here on the new norm, is to make sure people have a platform so you can share your details, because we may see things, but we're not seeing things from the same perspective, and we're not looking at it for the same reasons. So it's just a good thing to really give a chance so people can exhale and get things off their chest and talk about things, and then we can get goofy and like little kids too, because we reminisce and we get nostalgic and talk about old school the songs, music, movies, and stuff like that, like the best of you, because the real truth is this is a whole new circumstance in this world. Our world has changed because of the epidemic, and that's the reason why it's called the new norm, because everything and everyone has a new norm in their life. So we want to make sure that we're part of the positives in your life in the new norm, and we can talk about how to eliminate the new norms that are negative. And politricks is one of the new norms that are negative that we're trying to. So that's what we're doing. So that's why I said I appreciate Mark coming in. He's part of the family, and you're part of the family now, Hank. So you can come on and welcome at any time and continue to express yourself, man, because people got to know that. And I had said this a little earlier, and forgive me, Adrian, if I'm going on, but I wanted to highlight one fact, because you brought up a point that was spot on at the board meeting, and we were talking about the Board of Education meeting. I was kind of upset how Brother Steve was being treated by the general public, making fun of him misspeaking word or saying things a little in error. Like human beings make errors all the time. He mentioned that stuff, and people just clowning him. And it's really sad how a man at that level, at his age, respectfully should be respected by people much younger. And we've lost that because we got in a vitriolic community, and we're at each other's throats that we don't respect one another. You know what I'm saying? And I had to make sure that I emphasize the truth that you brought to the table. And why did you rush? Why was there a rush? Why was there a clear expedition or approach to move this so quickly when it wasn't necessary? And even Linda Cohen had brought up, and Steve Young also had brought in the policy, so much so that the Board of Education president just made a statement, said he made a mistake. I said that is going to be big, because that's moving forward, maybe what changes the tide. So,
Well, I don't know, but she did send me Linda Cohen. She sent me everything that she wrote. Afterwards, she showed me that he made a mistake. She told me what he said, and after he responded to when I spoke, and the truth be told is, it made it seem, like I said, like it was something wrong. And if it was, if they had all the right on their side, and she's good as they say that she is, and she's right for the job and all these things, why couldn't we just take it through the proper process and waited for the process to be over, and then go along and allow them? They need no rush. The man had a contract that's going to last for another year. We had time to wait in order to do this the right way. And when we seem to always do things like this and put our foot in our mouth in Atlantic City, when we get Black folks and when we want to praise them, we want to say and be proud that we have them in these positions and doing the things we do. But when we always go about the wrong way, when we get the title, when we get the opportunity, it is something along the process that we do that prohibit us from really having the flowers we're supposed to have when we're given the opportunity to do the things that you can do. And we and I think that that's going to be a backlash for her in the future, when she deserved the opportunity, probably, to have that opportunity, because she may or may not. Let's say I win, she may be a great person to work with and to facilitate the policy of the school board and get some of the things done in the way that I envision it. But you know what I mean? And but now she doesn't. This other stuff come up, and now she don't get the proper opportunity to do the things that she's probably capable of doing in the way that she would like to do it with the power that she has in order to make the changes and do the things she wants.
Mm-hmm. And as a side link for those that are just paying attention, I just shared the link. It's called breakingac.com. If you want to look more into that conversation, the actual story is multiple parts to it. So there's going to be ongoing because it's an intricate story that's developing, and the more and more we look at it, it just raises the question. And again, I think Brother Hank and I basically share the same thing. We want to celebrate the sister for the symbolism of it, of having the first Black superintendent. However, the underlying questions that still need to be answered makes the foundation rocky. And we have to be able to stand strong on the foundation to move forward because our children deserve the best foundation possible. In our community, sometimes we leap on the ideas and symbols that we think are the best symbolic, but we don't understand the risks when we do leap too soon or without full understanding of the risks that when we do leap, what happens, who's the cost.
Brother Mo, I wanted to one more thing that I wanted to discuss about that is, now I've never been on the school board, I've never been a council member, I've never been in any of these things like that. They say Shay took it upon himself with community members, and they vetted for her. They vetted her for the position, or they were responsible for overlooking the other 20 positions. I don't know if they just look at the other 20 positions or they just looked at her positions. But I'm trying to figure out what was their criteria that they used for considering a candidate. So when all these candidates applied for the job, what was the criteria that they asked for, and how would you go about interviewing candidates for the criteria that you asked for, and what was the candidate's responses were you looking for from the candidate of how to deal and solve the problems or the issues or the ills that are pertaining to our students in our school districts? How would you go about dealing and solving or changing these numbers or statistics and things like that? I'm quite sure these are the types of things that we would ask a candidate, and this is how we evaluate and hold a candidate accountable when they get the job, and they get the job and they're doing the job over a period of time, and we can say these are the things we said were problems, and then we can gauge where we was at the time and where we're at right now with you, and we can find out whether you're doing a job that's beneficial to our children or not by having a standard set for you to achieve, you know what I mean, that we want. And did we have that type of setting? Does the school board do things like that, which I think they should do? But was that the process and how they do things when considering a superintendent or things, contracts and things like that?
I will honestly say that I am not aware of criteria that were made public, other than, of course, the education level necessary and experience levels. The fact that they put together a team or committee that represented certain elements of the community. This is what it's supposed to be, but it looks like it's the same group of supporters of Mr. Small and his family type deal involved in this process. So we're not certain totally what the criteria is. And I totally agree that if they made it available to the general public, then we'd probably understand more and maybe even supportive of the decision that was made, and or work aggressively with the school board to see if we can find a more applicable or more advantageous candidate for us to be able to entertain, if there was one. So, yeah, I totally agree. I mean, we didn't have that information. That wasn't made available. With all the chaos that was going on and the question marks that were talked about, it may have been slighted from meeting its priority to the public, or it could have been intentional, and it may have been a situation where they intended for people not to know. I don't know. But welcome, Laurel. Hi, Laurel. What's wrong? Okay, she bounced out. She's having technical issues. But I think that's the ongoing issue when it comes to the school. We're not aware of
Comcast is not at its peak tonight.
Yeah. She looks like she's home too. Okay. Yeah. Bro, you home?
Yeah, I was getting a lot of feedback. I'm like, what is all this noise? Good evening.
Some Apple products. See what I'm saying?
I don't have Apple. See, watch your mouth.
Uh-huh.
I'm not an iPhone user. I'm Team Galaxy.
All right. How are you?
What's going on? I'm just listening, and I'll be forgetting it's Friday. I don't know what day it is, but I'm just listening.
For anybody who's outside of the Atlantic County area, that's a symptomatic of the personalities of people who working in the industry. We're working and inundated. We don't know what day of the week is. Sometimes hard to tell whether it's daytime and nighttime.
That's why I use military time, because I don't know if it's 11 o'clock at night or 11 o'clock in the morning.
Right, there we go. Military. There she go. Adrian, she's munching. See? Look.
No, not yet. I'm drinking.
Oh, okay. All right, salute.
Cheers.
Working her way up to it.
It's that time. But,
I'm waiting for the food.
Okay. We were just talking about the school board fiasco or situation.
No comment.
Right. Brother Hank is running for he's running for his chance to represent the city at the school board. And
Green is the last name?
Yeah, Hank Green. Yep.
Nice to meet you. I've never met you formally, but I've seen the name, but I've never met you.
Nice to meet you.
Now you know. Hank is involved. He's been a pivotal point of the community.
Hey,
Let me give you a little background. He has a show. He's part of a show called the Kevin Hall Program Show. Still trying to figure out how's the program show, bro. But it's the Kevin Hall Program Show, and he's been the vital element of the show for y'all been on. Y'all were
like
on
7 years. Like 7 years.
Yep, 7 years. And now they moved on into the podcast format. They have the 411 AC 411, and he's trying to expand, and so we really appreciate him participating tonight because he wanted to share with us a little of his opinions, like we do, and we want to make sure that folks get to know Hank a little bit more if we can help him be exposed a little bit more, because I think Hank is an asset to our community because he thinks and he speaks and he communicates, and in some elements in this situation, in these positions, those people don't do any of the three.
No.
All they go is yes.
Yes.
On camera, it looked like I got punched in the eye.
Oh.
I'm like,
we're not going to ask how you enjoy your downtime.
Funny.
You never know. So, MMA in a minute, be up there beating people up. So I just wanted to make sure that Hank got it with some exposure, because my man is asking the right questions, and he does. Go ahead, Adrian. You were saying?
Torres we're running for Sosa, isn't it?
Yeah,
Torres.
I was hoping to. Yeah, Torres is another one who's running for a city for the school board position, which was what's crazy? There was somebody else running who seemed to have already been placed in the position. Somebody else, is that right, Hank? Is that the case?
Yes.
One other person who was running for the position.
Please explain that one.
The guy who dropped out a week before, he filled his position.
Farouk.
The night before, he was running he was running.
Right.
The Bayard, the Barnes or something like that. Barnes, I think is his last name.
Right. Yep. When Farouk stepped down 2 weeks ago, boom, here comes Barnes, and they just automatically placed him on the board. I don't know how that came about.
These are positions that we're supposed to vote for, correct?
Except when you're replacing someone. But I'm trying to figure out, like,
but who appoints?
Is he still on the ballot or not? Or like, because they say something about he's only on the ballot to. I don't know. I'm trying to figure this out. Like, what's going on? Like, how is he getting this position?
Let's find out.
You got your ballot? Look on the ballot. I was about to ask my associate producer, aka my wife, in the background. No, that's what y'all. I don't know about y'all, but we got 2 cycles of sample ballots. I'm like, what's up with that?
because stuff changed.
I'm like, it shouldn't have.
You know it. You know stuff changed.
It better not.
Let's see. School board. Mayfield. Scott. Green, Speed, Steele, Bird, Barnes.
Lee Barnes.
Barnes, yeah. So he's now on the school board already.
They placed him.
And I'm like, I'm thinking that he shouldn't be like he should be already on the board. So that means
that you already know.
He should be running on the board, right?
So the third person that comes, let's say
this is something you have to live.
Still and buy or still win. A third person, whoever, you still want to get a new third person.
Mm-hmm.
You still get, you know, I'm thinking that.
I don't know what that whole situation seemed to get real slick. I don't know why. But again,
slick is slick.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
politricks.
And let's keep it. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it 100. Let's keep it real gully. Hold on, Adrian. Because we have a brother that was part of the New Norm family, who was placed on the school board to represent our sister city, got on the board and automatically, without being informed, started deciding and siding with the others to place people in position to stop investigations, and they weren't even in the office yet. They just came in out of nowhere. And I'm extremely sad and upset how my man, I would be honest to say that I love him as a brother and find him an intelligent brother, but in this situation, sounds like he's a sold out brother.
Yo, it's the same thing. It's what they do. It's the mentality of most of the people around here is their time. Not like you saying they think it's their time to get in and for their friends and other people to take advantage of the jobs and opportunity and cheat and steal the system and not have to have no responsibility and do anything and get paid. This is what they're thinking. But what they're not considering who they're taking advantage of and what they're doing when they're and I guess they don't care. They think this is just the capitalistic system in the American way or the Atlantic City way. And I don't know.
And it makes things tough because what it does, it makes people who were at one point in time interested in getting into the process less likely to, because they say their voices are unheard. It doesn't matter what they think anyway, because if you don't get down, then you got to lay down. Or you got to be part of the clique type deal, and it's proven continuously.
Or you be banished like me. You get fired 2 times from City Hall. You can't get a job. You can't find a lawyer. You can't go to Pennsylvania. You can't go to different cities. Yo, and many people don't believe that, don't think that, but I've been blackballed, and somehow, some way, whatever it is,
and let's get credentials, Brother Hank Green. You have a bachelor's degree.
That's right. Yes, sir.
Let them know what your credentials are. Bachelor's degree in what?
I have a bachelor's degree in history.
From what prestigious university?
Johnson C. Smith University in Charlotte, North Carolina. I went to, and I started off at Wynn-Patterson up here in North Jersey. And I've done the AmeriCorps with volunteerism, where you go and you volunteer your time, when you work in these communities, and from North Carolina to DC, different places where I've been at, and I've been working in a lot of different places and working on community social programs. And the one thing I've really learned is that none of these places have more money available to them than Atlantic City. They have all of these different programs, and only place that have more money than Atlantic City is the Washington D.C. with the federal money and the federal funds that they have there. But anywhere else, I don't have the money in the school system or in the city budget, especially for the size of this particular city, and the amount of people that we have and the amount of money that we have. There's no reason that we should want for any type of program, any type of the best of everything. But the fact is that it's being sold and given away to other people, and then the other folks that we look like us really are just interested in having the opportunities to have the titles and a little bit of money here and there. And so all that other money that could be utilized for the benefit of our city that's going other places. They could care less where that goes as long as a couple of them are in the positions that they have, and that's what they do. And they've been doing Atlantic City like that since its exception. Before Nookie Thompson, they've been doing this. And then we get the chance to get on top, to get the positions and get the power, and we run it the same way and do the same thing to our people.
Mhm.
And it's like unbelievable that a lot of them don't understand what they're doing, especially when they're doing it through the school system with the children
Yeah.
and how they do those particular things.
And it's defined because if you pay attention to the school board meetings, there's a small percentage of information being had or decisions being made about the curriculum.
Zero.
Exactly. You would think there would be more involvement on the curriculum and the resources that are supposed to be available to help educate our kids. The discussions that are had are mostly on contracts, which are jobs and money being distributed, and then who gets what, when do they get it? And there's as every once in a while there's an exceptional situation where it's a personnel type thing and it has to come to the board legally, and they have to deal with it. But again, it's such a small discussion or small amount of discussions are had. You would think it would be much larger, but on the curriculum or the quality of education or
Right.
opportunities for more education,
Right.
it's not there, and it's sad.
They spend so much time trying to convince you that their jobs are so important that they don't want private schools, they don't want this type of school, charter schools, and this type of schools because they're going to take teachers' jobs. But if you're not doing the job, why do you think that we need charter schools? Why do we think we need all private schools, maybe for little black, brown boys, so they could be successful at the end of the day? If it's beneficial to them at the end of the day, what's more important? Them being successful and we doing something that's important for the kids and benefiting the children in our community, if it makes them more successful, or the black people, or whoever the people are whose jobs that are on the line.
Yeah.
What's more important?
Right.
And you would ask them, they would tell you that their jobs is more important and we don't need those schools.
Right. One of the biggest things that I've seen that's been a problem is that our area, we have our own interpretation of what success is. And the bar of success seems to be a lot lower here and a lot more restrictive than it is around the world. And you see it because when people leave town, they leave and they go migrate someplace else, and they work at Walmart and things like this. They seem to be much happier. They work different. The whole economic table changes. Where they live in, the cost of living, everything else is different there. The whole atmosphere is different, but they're happier. Why do you think that is? I think it's because we ourselves here, we placed ourselves in this bubble. And we have this standard that most of us believe constitutes success in this smaller bubble, because we have a bubble and then we have a smaller bubble on the inside. A smaller bubble having to do with the city jobs, whether it's a school board, whether it's the housing authority, or the city municipal government. In that small bubble, you have to rub elbows and do things to get advancements. The amount of money that should be available is not really reflective to the real world, because they're not really intended for people to become wealthy in those jobs. It's just people don't recognize that. They don't see the difference of working in the public sector or the private sector outside of the area where you can make some money, real money. And realistically speaking, more money is available. But our bubble and our standards of success here, there's a lot of us, we look at it success in a more realistic point. As long as you're happy, your family's good, you're healthy, you have some place to live. That's the more holistic approach. But how many people will be like, you're not really successful if you don't have this car, if you don't go to this church, if you don't hang with this group of people, you don't take a trip to go see this game or that game. This is how they look at as far as success. And this is the only avenue of success that you can have living in this bubble. And it's sad because there's so much more to life.
I have a question. It's off topic, but I'm looking at this. It says, do you approve amending Constitution to permit all groups that are allowed to contact bingo or raffles to use the net proceeds from those games to support their groups? But where the money been going all this time?
What was the first part?
It says, do you
the thing
approve
about
amending
it,
the Constitution
one thing I don't get,
to permit
everyone, something, LaRoe, Hank, Mo. I'm sitting back here in the because Hank's Nookie Johnson and all this stuff going on way back. But if you really think about it, New Jersey is one of the most corrupt states in the United States. Think about that. When they ran prohibition on liquor, the gambling, when, Michael Matthews sold Atlantic City, to the Arab sheep and he was busted and he had to go to jail, all of the different investigations. Right. Nothing surprises me that comes up out of New Jersey and Atlantic City. Atlantic City has the most amount of money because you have 9 casinos on one island. You tell me where in New Jersey or around here you can find 9 casinos. At one time, it was 14 casinos on one island. And that was down to the money that comes to Atlantic City. Knows that Atlantic City makes a lot. That's why they take the money out of here. That's the reason why the roads are so jacked. The money leaves Atlantic City and it's based on a lot of the people who've sold the people out. And a lot of that money leaves the area. We have to change that narrative by voting the right people in that actually looks at the community, not at the individuals themselves. It's not about the individual when you run for office. It's about the damn community. That's what it's about when you run for office.
It's supposed to be about.
Right.
It's about
serving. Well, I'm thinking of bingos. I'm thinking of churches and community centers. So where was that money going if it wasn't support their groups?
The state puts anybody who does a raffle or bingo. Anyone that runs a raffle or bingo has to pay the state, to the Department of Treasury, a certain fee to have a license to do that.
Yeah. Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Okay.
It ain't.
I was confused about the question. Like,
they call it a game of chance. A game of chance, right?
Right.
So now they want to make betting on college games and stuff legal. I'm thinking that's putting more pressure on the kids to perform.
If you look at Wildwood, you go to Wildwood, you go to Atlantic City, all of those games on the boardwalk, they're all regulated.
It's the system.
A lot of the games of chance are regulated by the state, including the one.
Yep.
Bingo. Even bingo.
Yeah, I never knew that. I mean, my mom used to play bingo-holic. Her and her sisters used to go all over. Everywhere that bus went, they went. Well, Maryland, Delaware, Pennsylvania, New York.
Yeah, it's regulated.
They have to pay for it. It's crazy how many nonprofits and churches do things, and they're assuming because it's always been done, it's all right. Hell no. The state of New Jersey wants to get their little 2 cents here.
Now they want to regulate college games. They want to make it legal for people to bet on college games.
And the ones
like sportsbook and all that stuff.
If it's in the state, like let's say Rutgers or Princeton, and because they could do it on the other games, but they try to make it legal to do it for games that are in the state, which might not be fair.
Right.
Because
I didn't know that they couldn't bet on college games.
Yeah,
not in state
legally.
Not in state.
This is the dilemma. You can't bet. You can't, as a college or university. There's no betting in a state that has college, universities, anything. Only states that can bet in are the ones that don't have representation in the NAAC. I mean, in the NCAA or any Division 1, 2, or 3 schools. So there's very few. I don't think there's any states that don't have representation, and that's one of the things because they don't want the state's betting process to be tainted with the potential of gamblers and hustlers trying to impede on the lives of these gamblers. Just recently, I just saw something.
The kids playing. That's my number one concern is how that's going to affect them and their performance in education now because now they got to win this game. Oh, I got to win this game. I got to win this game. I got to win this game. I mean, they're there to learn. I mean, I understand all the athletic part of it, but they're supposed to be there to get a degree in education.
Well, let's just say the reality is that in a lot of these college athletes, A lot of them are there for the education aspect, but there's quite a few that are there just for the opportunity of athletics.
Trying to get to the league.
Right. And that's all well and good. It's just to the degree that the schools are not necessarily pushing the education aspects. We've already seen reports that suggest that some schools are not even they're making it so easy for the athlete to be an athlete. They have people in class for them, writing their reports, doing everything for them, so they'll get the good grades, so they can continue
and
going.
Then they stuck on dummies and they get injured. And you can't play.
Hey, Bo, ask Marty Smalls about that.
Ask Marty nothing.
Well, what's he gonna say? That he was successful with the Seagulls? Okay, all right, good for you. Anyway,
he played for Seagulls when R. Kelly was in.
Yep, exactly. There was a special there's a documentary on Netflix specifically about this, and they were talking about point shaving. And just recently, there was, I think, 9 high-end ex and present NBA players that were involved in point shaving. And Hank, you remember what's my man, Big Baby Davis? I think his last name is Davis. They call him Big Baby. He played in Boston. He played in a couple places, but he's one of the high-end people, and it was all based off of some guy, his nickname or his name as a basketball player. Oh, God, he had a very unique name. Anyway, they just recently found out how they went into the process of shaving points as college players. And him as a college player created this whole dilemma for like pennies on the dime, and they all got fined, did time, all this stuff. And there was 2 main people who were the instigators of this. One was a gambler and another was a bookie. And they was involved in this time just recently. Let me see if I can pull it up. Point shaving. But that's the discussion that we're having. Whether in gambling, this is crazy because we've seen it in other movies. I think in The Last Boy Scout, one of the actors in there basically mentioned playing a football player. Says, why is there a injury report in professional football? It's for the gamblers. It's for the gamblers to be able to put in the bets necessary, and they're the ones pushing it. So it's a shame, but that's the truth about it. Gambling is such a major part. Let me see. There we go. The point shaving.
Hey Mo, am I still breaking up here or what?
Well, you just said something now. You're a little bit of a breakup.
No, I was going to try to see if I'm going to change browsers and go to.
You want to try it? You can do that. But the athlete that was talked about is this guy named. Okay. Okay. In this documentary on Netflix, they identified this one ASU player in the 90s. His name was Stephen Headache Smith. This is his name. They called him Headache. He was the mastermind behind this whole concept of point shaving that included quite a lot of point shavers that just recently came about that made everyone to look at this whole concept of the NBA. It's really deep how it is, how many people were involved in it. 30 basketball players in total got involved in this point shaving stuff. And that's what makes it even tough. And that's why gaming is so risky. Sports gaming in the state of New Jersey, it's risky for anybody that goes to Rutgers University, anybody who goes to William Patterson, anyone that goes to any school that has a sports team. The second, Division II teams and Division III teams that are in the states, even as they call the junior colleges, could potentially be at risk because of gaming. And it's sad. But I wanted to pull up something a second ago because we were talking about gaming and taxes, right? One of the elements that I think people don't recognize is that the taxation process in Jersey is more favorable to casinos in New Jersey. It's more favorable to casinos than any other state. Las Vegas pays 54%. The gaming houses there have to pay 54% of their total income to the state. And this is why they work in this way. We pay approximately 3%. This is what we charge the state charges gaming halls 3%. Winnings are 8.5%. It is the lowest all the way around. So they make more money here off of the government side, and in the back end, they donate towards political campaigns to help keep them empowered to make more money. Casinos make more money in Jersey than they do in Vegas. That's why no matter what, if you don't really pay attention, you think Vegas is more money. No, they pay more taxes there. But they're making way more money here, and that's why they're fighting to keep it what it is. That's why we don't have news the way we should, radio the way we should. We don't have access to real online conversations. Voting process is tainted. It's tough because the gaming element, gaming and the underworld mobsters are involved in all this stuff, and they get involved in all of it. Man, it's a shame. Yeah. But what are you enjoying right now, Laurel? Is that a chocolate cake?
Muffin.
All right, okay, because you owe me a slice of that chocolate cake. I'm gonna hold you.
I'm sorry. You know, if I bring any chocolate out, anything out of this house, my son will have a conniption.
Oh, I'm saying, oh, you gotta just let me know when. I'll definitely contribute so you'll have at least one more additional slice. Hey,
He loses his mind. Like, where you going with
that? Huh?
I had to make an emergency pit stop.
Understood.
Understood.
We do that. We do that. Sometimes you see it in the past. See, now you're teasing people. See, you don't tease a fat boy with cake.
Chocolate?
You know she is. She's always teasing people. Hey, you may not aware, Laurel enjoys her meals. She's able to eat when she can't eat. She comes in and she shares her experience with us. She'll eat in front of us. We'll be hungry as hell sometimes looking at her eating.
Oh, man.
Right, Adrian? Some of the stuff that she eats, she makes sure she shares the whole meal.
I don't know. The chocolate muffin.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
That looks good.
No, you're not. It's okay though. You good?
I'm starving too.
Yeah.
I ate already though. I ate already.
Yeah, I ate about 6 o'clock. I'll eat.
What you eat?
I had. What did I have? I had a sandwich. And it wasn't even a great sandwich.
Sandwiches don't do it for me. I need.
I don't know.
Beefaroni. We stopped by Wawa real quick, and my son got me a breakfast sandwich. And this was this afternoon. I wanted some breakfast food, and he talked to the manager.
You know what I do like from Wawa? Is that pepperoni on a bagel?
Yeah.
With the provolone cheese.
Pepperoni pizza. Yep. When you're in the mood, it'll give you a hell of a lot of provolone and a lot of pepperoni.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like chicken noodle soup.
Chicken noodle soup. Chicken noodle soup.
It's so they're almost as good as some of the Asian restaurants. You know how you get the soup and it's almost thick because they use the marrow so much they cook it down. Why was that good? Every time my mom gets sick, she's always like, "Can you go get me some soup?" I'm like, "All right, I got you."
I love that soup.
Yeah, man. It's good. We don't necessarily enjoy as a society. We don't enjoy soups the way our parents did before.
Right.
I don't necessarily have to be sick. I will bust a pot of soup out in a minute.
My mommy make them pinto beans and lima beans soup and all kinds of
put some kale in it.
She put the whole chicken. She put the whole chicken with the skin in it.
Let it cook
no feathers. No feathers.
Oh man, I'd be like, "Oh, mom, look at that skin." She's like, "Boy, it's good for you. Eat this."
Yep.
I don't eat the skin, but I put it in a pot. Flavor.
Right.
That and the bone.
But I move the skin to the side and then I eat everything else.
Speaking of chicken soup, if y'all haven't been there, go to Platters. It's in Egg Harbor Township, where Wings to Go used to be, by the Old Harbor Town Circle, next to McDonald's, the guitar place, Frank's Jeweler.
Frank's Jeweler, I know that's at.
It's called Platters. When I tell you that chicken stew,
where Wings to Go used to be.
It's a soul food seafood joint called Platters.
I did see that. I didn't know if it was true, but they had pictures of their platters out on the door, right?
Just a couple, but not too many. Not too many. But when I tell you that chicken stew, I thought I made it myself. It was so good.
Was it?
Chicken
stew? Okay. I don't know why, but recently I have like a a desire for some oxtail.
They didn't have oxtail, but they did have beef ribs. Like the big short ribs, they had those, and I put it on my page. What I had, the turkey wing and
Yeah, you did. I saw
chicken.
My daughter made oxtails last night. She was taking some down to my mom today. My mom lives downstairs from
The only place around here where I know I can get them is Yardies.
Okay,
in this area.
Yeah, they do make oxtail. It's just I think the
only for now. That's only for now.
Okay. Right, true. Right, because we should
only
be seeing
with the Yardies, that's only for now. In the future, that's subject to change.
Yeah, there'll be another location soon, right? There should be, Adrian.
Where?
Should be another location, right? Well, we were introduced.
No, we have some more trainees coming. We have some more trainees coming in.
More trainees coming down. Yep. So they're going to be cooking it up.
Was that?
Where's the spot going to be?
I keep you. I'll let you know, Lavrel.
When the time comes,
I know, dear.
We will have
AC.
We'll have a new Norm night out. Like we talked about.
I will let you know when.
Yep. We'll have a new Norm night out, and we'll invite people. If you can come, come on. Because I know Adrian's just going to be like, all right, Mo, I know you only want some roti. I'm like, no, not just roti. All right, I got you.
Roti? Oh, wait. Roti?
See, look. With chicken, stewed chicken and roti. Or the oxtail with the roti, yep. Or the beans, the lentils, yep.
I'll try it.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
You know what I'm fiending
I'm checking out a few people right now. I'm checking out a few people right now.
Okay. You know what I'm fiending for that I haven't had?
Hey, Lavrel, if I'm checking out a few.
Okay.
I ain't catching.
I haven't had
over each other.
I'm a go. There used to be a place in Philadelphia that I went to that was Ethiopian. I haven't had any Ethiopian cuisine in so long, and I miss it because it's very exquisite. The type of bread that they use and the type and the process of food. Has any of you ever eaten an Ethiopian restaurant? Okay. One thing is it's a communal restaurant, so everything is served on one big giant platter, and then they put this type of bread that makes specifically Ethiopian bread. It's unleavened, but it's really porous, really thick, like rubberish. And you take the bread, and they have lots of lentils and meat, whatever it is, and they have little scoops of it all over this platter. And you are sitting on the floor basically like you would in other areas with the platter in front of you. They come with a hot towel and hot water so you can wash your hands before you get to it. They won't serve you unless you wash your hands. When you sit down at the thing, they'll bring you the plate and you'll have all your lentils. And they'll tell you, this hand is for wiping your mouth. This hand is for you to get your food. And they will stop you if you mess it up because they're like, it makes it easier for you to eat. And it's really good. The food, the lentils, the vegetables, the chicken, the beef, all those things that they cook with, even fish in small little portions, it's really good. And if you just want to have a different type of experience, it's really cool. And if any Ethiopian experience, it's music, the art, like here at the restaurant at Sitar, right? No.
Yeah, right here on Kentucky Avenue.
Yeah. That's Dr. Panaz's sister's place. That's the other guy who's running for mayor. That's his family's place. So if you ever go in there, it's that same Afghani French cuisine type stuff. It's the same thing in the Ethiopian side. Only difference is, Ethiopian is, it's full motherland. It's untethered. Everything is really cuisine, like from if you went to Ethiopian, and it's really, really tasty, really good stuff. So if you want to get a new experience. And we used to go to the one in Philly, and I want to remember, it's named after a city and it's not Addis Ababa, and I'm trying to remember the other one. But that's what I've been feeling on going. I'm gonna probably have to go all the way to DC to get my Ethiopian grub. Shout out to Jeffrey Vasquez.
Yeah, it's a lot of Ethiopian people in DC. When I lived there and worked downtown, It was so many different Ethiopian. You know, it was a big culture down there. I didn't realize that. You know what I mean? Just noticing when I was working downtown. I mean, how many of them that I ran into?
Yep. And you know what? Just the other day, we was looking at histories wise and talking about stuff, and I didn't realize Ethiopia is the only African nation that was never colonized. No colonization, no European invasion, nothing ever happened in Ethiopia. They protected their land, so they're intact. They have over 20 different languages, dialects, everything, their style, music, everything is different, and Ethiopia has always been intact. Outside of the fact that Ethiopian Christianity seems to predate the majority of Christianity all over the rest of the planet. They still hold on to this the idea of them holding on to the covenant, the actual grail. That they have the remnants of Christianity held there, and their most high bishop is no joke. They don't play when it comes to their faith over there. But it's a beautiful country. I want to visit there one time. But until that point in time, I hope to get some Ethiopian food because it's pretty good. Jeff Vasquez said they have good coffee too. Yep, that's true. And that's coming from Ricans. We know good coffee. That's right. So, but
I want to go.
Go ahead, bro.
I want to go to Puerto Rico, and I want to go to Egypt. I want to go all over Africa. Honestly, but definitely, I want to see the pyramids.
So do I. I want to go to the. I desire going to the continent. I want to spend some time in Egypt. My earlier years, Egyptology was something important to me. Now, as I'm learning more about ancient Sumeria, Sumer, and Anunnaki, and all that concepts and stuff, the more how widespread the Congolese people. I'd like to visit South Africa to see the atmosphere. Like down in South Africa, there's such a large mixture of people and places that it emulates a lot of what we have here. So I just want to see how it is. I got somebody that I know. I'm not going to say he's my friend, but somebody I'm pretty cool with, who came from North Jersey, was a graduate of Stockton University, and went down to South Africa and brought house music down to South Africa, put it together with Afro beats in South Africa and hip hop, and now is the man. He is P. Diddy level in Africa. And it was cool as hell, but I kept thinking, I said, boy, you scoundrel, you brought our beloved house music from the 90s and you took it down there and you turned it into something totally different. But the young folks love it down there. So go. So when you see the videos of the people dancing, that ain't nothing but house music when we were younger. It's the shaking and all that was us, and the music too. I was like, yeah, he's doing so. Shout out to Colin. He's out in Africa doing his thing. You know, we watch you, bro. You know how it is, and he's a newt too. So you know how it is, bro.
That's what's up.
But I want to travel, man. I told my wife too. You know, one of the elements, and I said this. One of the things that I have to do is I have to re-engage in a relationship with China. If everything goes good and I'm elected as mayor, that's one of the things that I like to do in my first year. Our previous mayor, Frank, went to China to develop a relationship to hope bring economic opportunities for us because they're sister cities. And we haven't fulfilled that full contract and fulfilled the relationship. And I want to go back to reignite that relationship because there's so much that China can possibly provide for us here in Atlantic City that we can transplant from China into Atlantic City to bring the economy up and also expand on our offerings to tourism. So I think it's just a great opportunity. So I'm looking forward to visiting the great continent of China and get it on over there, just to learn how things are. So
speaking about China, speaking of back in lockdown, just to let you know, the COVID again.
Yeah, I saw that.
Chinese are back in lockdown.
Yep, close their boundaries. That's a shame.
Oh, it ain't over. Just because people vaccinated, you can still get it and carry it and make somebody else deathly ill.
Hey, let me ask you something.
Continue to wash your hands. Continue to wear your mask.
Have you been
stay 6 feet?
Have y'all been paying attention to this issue with the shipping containers off the coast of California, off the coast of Texas.
I don't understand it.
It's off the coast of every major port.
Right.
Every major port, they have hundreds of barges out there waiting to get in to deliver their products. And this is goods that we use, they're shipping in. And how long is it going to sit out there in that water before we actually get it? And then what's the expiration date on this stuff?
But it shows you.
There.
Well, they don't.
That's the thing. It to me, I don't see why it is, and it sounds like a conspiracy. Like that was intended to create havoc in America because we weren't so heavy on the need of foreign goods. You know, if we were so self-sufficient like we once was, and we have so much to offer here in America, we shouldn't have to depend so much of foreign goods coming in and having it come in the way it is. We just saw a boat.
Because they're making cheaper overseas. They're able to be bought cheaper over there and sold here for double the price.
Yeah. Jeff, that's not necessarily true. In Florida, it's running. All the ports are running now up to 24 hours a day trying to unload.
Look at a satellite image of the United States alone. You'll see all these little dots all over the oceans out there. Those are barges and transport ships waiting to get in to deliver their stuff.
Yep.
Over 100 of them right now. 100 of them on the West Coast.
Right. You see how the economy has changed too, where all these stores are now engaging in Black Fridays before because they're assuming they won't have goods on their shelves because of this issue. So they want people to buy now. They're like, oh, we need your money now anyway. Get it anyway. Now we got it. And I'm like, all the rest of the stuff. What about the perishable items?
Well, the thing that's going on. The thing that's going on right now, Mo, is that a lot of these companies now are actually like Target and Walmart and on their own ship the products in for them. Mm-hmm. So they're doing. So they like forget about everything else. We're going to import our own. We're going to have our own vessels, bring our own products into the port, and have our own people unload it. So that's what Walmart and these guys plan on doing.
Sure. You imagine if you started your own salvage company, go out with a couple tugboats, big stuff like this with, imagine the kind of shit that you could probably dig up that just jumped in the water not long ago. Because one of the biggest one, I think it was 400 storage containers had fell off of a boat that caught fire. It caught fire. It was a whole bunch of issues with this one boat. Caught fire. It blew up, and then it tilted over because of a rogue wave. And basically 400 of their those units, those storage containers, fell into the water. I'm like, can you imagine what it's in them containers?
Yep.
Somebody who runs a salvage company out there, and it depends on also the depth because I think it's 5 miles off of the shore, then it becomes international waters. Then you have some rights to be able to get it. And when you're closer to the water side, whatever the state has jurisdiction, the country has jurisdiction. So you could be out there, all of a sudden you see a brand new BMW inside a container. Water damage, you can deal with certain things that you can't. You can make a damn killing off of these salvage units because they're just writing it off insurance anyway.
Mm-hmm.
You know how many e-bikes are probably floating on the water?
If it's water damage, if you look at BMW instead of cancel that one player, because the salt water and cars just don't mix.
Right. But it depends on the time frame it's been in the water that you have some degree of salvageable product. And they've been out there over 100, I think it's 100 days. I know they've been over there a long time. So, but the ones that fell over, it's been less than, it hasn't been that long. But I'm just thinking there's some things, what if, it depends because we get all kinds of stuff shipped from other nations, you know what I'm saying? Not just vehicles, but
right.
There's so much being shipped, and then it depends on the package because there could be airtight packages in there. It depends. We have chemical products that are being dumped in the water, so much stuff. So there's so many assets that are being shipped in. And again, I'm emphasizing we wouldn't have this problem if people relied more on American goods, but since we don't necessarily have the heart to develop good enough goods for us buy it, it is what it is. Huh?
They busted up a lot of the unions many years ago during the Reagan era. We know this.
Yeah.
Right.
Back then, the unions and the Bushes, they wanted to blow up all of the unions, and this is what you get. Nothing is being made in America anymore, or very hardly any goods are being made in America anymore. Let's face the facts. So this is the outcome from all of that going on back then. This is the price they pay. But not only that, you're looking at customs, because a lot of these containers have to be inspected by customs. So even though they're running 24 hours a day, now you have to have the manpower to inspect all of these containers. Then you have to have the people to unload the containers. Then you have to have the trucking. So it goes deep. It goes very deep.
Real deep. Financially, money again is the issue.
They're trying to get more money. That was the whole dilemma. Recently, I saw a newscast off of the dock, and they were talking about the company who owns the docking and shipping. And all you hear from, well, we're not getting enough pay. We're getting told to work extraordinary amounts of hours. And these are labor issues. And the labor issues that are constantly compounding and we reliving consistently, it's always the issue that's stopping all this stuff. So, and that was the issue in Puerto Rico when the storm took place, and there were so many supplies trying to be shipped to Puerto Rico. What was the issue? A lot of the people who were driving trucks weren't being paid accordingly, and they weren't being given the resources they needed to.
And I was going to bring that up, Mo, about the trucking industry. And they're saying right now how stuff is not getting where we ain't got enough truckers out there and all this stuff with them. And that you're saying both of those things, that they got the boats out there and they got the truckers on lock. This almost sound again like it's something that's being done purposely to drive up the market or something like that.
Yeah, because I don't know if people recognize the transportation process with shipping and long distance truck drivers. That's a big ass part of the industry, the economy. People who live out in the middle of West Bubblefuck, how will they pay their bills? Is because a lot of them are long-term long distance tractor trailer drivers, and you'll see them all up and down Jersey on Saturday mornings at 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. You'll see them going up and down the Route 9, going up and down 22, going up and down the Route 30 to hit the Delaware. It's a big part of American economy. It's a big part of the American economy.
And that's why the mafia was involved in it.
Hell yeah, the Hoffa thing. Yep. That's deep, and it's still involved, man. And it's all good.
Have y'all guys talked about the Dave Chappelle stuff?
Yeah, you know what? 2 weeks ago, and I don't think Adrian has watched Dave Chappelle yet, right? He's still not watched it. But we did.
No.
Right.
No.
I don't know
Miss
if
me with that.
Right. I don't know if Laurel watched it, but it's kind of engaging. I watched it and paid attention to how the pushback. I watched it first off, and I watched it with real critical ears. And I thought, to me, it was a brilliant engagement. It was intended to be controversial.
Yes.
To push the envelope.
There's no doubt about it. It was intended to be controversial.
Yeah. It wasn't by happenstance. It was intended, because he kept telling, I'm going in, and I'm going in hard. He kept saying, like, people like, yo, prepare yourself to what he's about to say. It may not be the kindest thing, but he wanted you to react and respond so you can force a discussion.
And he made the point.
That was brilliant.
The point that he made about the baby is like the point that he was making. Like, you know, all you guys, you know what I mean? As soon as the baby said this, and that, you know, you all of a sudden he's the top villain, whatever it is. But this dude done shot a Joker before. You know what I mean?
He killed the person.
He killed the person. And he wasn't, whatever killing another black body wasn't no big deal enough for you to cancel him. You know what I mean? But him saying something that's negative to you, now that's something. The fact that I put a post up the other day where when Dave Chappelle was doing the scenes of the crackhead and other things.
No one had a problem with that. Right.
That make a black person looks bad, or put a black person, shares a black negative stereotype on a black person. And yet none of these individuals have a problem. You know what I mean? They don't have a problem with all of these gangster videos and the sex on TV and all this other stuff that's going on. And
sexualization, buffoonery, gangsterism,
all the other stuff that's negative imagery and all the other stuff like that. It's okay for us to portray yourselves in these manners. Y'all can laugh with us or think that Power or Empire or all these shows are great shows and their depictions and things like that and in Hollywood. And yet, soon someone says faggot or this or that or you know what I mean, or these guys really are racist. They like the gay guys and white gay guys are not racist. Are not racist.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, and he asked the question.
And you know what? That's being posed. I saw D.L. Hughley. He posed that question. I saw that Martin, he on his show posed that same question, and it's the same thing. What we prioritize as a sensitive notion, and it's the same thing. It seems like the white elite, gay, trans, LGBTQIA seems to manipulate and prioritize their sensitivity over everyone else's issue. And that was one of the points that Dave Chappelle mentioned. He says, I got to give it to the Me Too movement, how you moved it. And he also talked about how you have overwhelmed and took over getting the attention. And it was a successful mission. And I'm like, you know what? The way he looked at it, he coined it to be funny, but it was something that, you're not going to hustle. If your hustle was to get all the attention, to get all the sympathy, you succeeded. And it took away from the attention of someone else. Like we weren't concerned about the children in cages. We weren't worrying about Pizzagate. We were so worried about hurting the feelings or saying something that's considered inappropriate to somebody in that community.
Not worried about homosexuality in the Catholic Church and the Boy Scouts.
Rape.
And these things like that. You're not concerned about these particular imageries or these particular things. Why we canceled, the Catholic Church? How come they are not canceled? I'm a black man, 50 years old. Things that happen to me and things that I'm subjected to and that I've been subjected to over my 50 years and before me, I'm still subjected to them at this age and time. And I'm subjected to it by America. Why haven't we canceled America?
Imagine that. Canceling America, right.
I mean, for real.
That's
America
true.
should be canceled.
The concept of America,
capitalism should be canceled.
Capitalism. There we go. Bam. There we go. That's the essence of all that stuff is capitalism.
I'm like, for real. Like, all right, we canceling stuff. We never canceled Donald Trump.
Nah.
How come he was never canceled?
He became famous for talking about grab her in the pussy. Famous.
Not canceled.
Became president.
Why?
Famous.
White conservatives.
Society thought that was funny.
And people in power.
He said his daughter's hot. If it wasn't his daughter, he would sleep with her. He said that about his own daughter. But he was never canceled and was given opportunity to become president.
Come on, man. It's like
our priorities, man. It's the American priority system is fucked up.
And we're canceling people from 20 years, things that they did 20 years ago, and they weren't canceling people. Everybody else done died that deserved to be canceled, or they don't even want to cancel statues. And
my man,
they canceled that stupid show. He actually was canceled. What are you talking about? That show?
Or no, he wasn't revoted. He wasn't voted back in.
Well, no comment.
Right.
Yeah, it's like, but come on.
Jeff is a supporter. So this is a quid pro quo. Jeff is a supporter of the Republican leadership in the last one. He got into a lot of arguments, but I respect your point of view. That's my man. I respect his point of view, but that's some crazy shit. You didn't get
right. It's crazy.
No, I'm getting upset right now.
Are you?
Don't get upset. I'm just saying.
I ordered from Chelsea an hour ago, and it's not here yet.
Oh, okay. I used to deliver for Chelsea.
We're still working on it, bro. Still working on it. They got you
getting hangry.
That be cold.
She's getting hangry. That's what it is.
You got a microwave, don't you?
You don't microwave pizza.
Oh, man.
You ate the cupcake
if it's cold.
You got a toaster. You got a toaster. You got a toaster.
Oven. Air fryer.
Air fryer. Oh,
I'll
good.
make your pizza, bring it over.
I just like the air fryer when I try to put my pizza in the air fryer.
I'll make your croissant pizza and I'll bring it to you. How's that? You want one with 3 meat? I'll hook you up. No? Okay. All right.
She's a feeder, man. She's a feeder. She's living.
Yeah. They're good. They're good. You know, look out. I love her. So, you know, I'm going to take care of her. She's going to be good. That's Nurse Ratchet in the making right there. That's all good.
No, she's going to get her pizza. Chelsea.
Hell yeah, it'd be a lot better and then go to sleep.
Yeah.
Hey, Laurel, I guess there's no tip within this bill, huh? No tipping allowed, huh?
I can't fault them. All they doing is delivering it, but it's like, dude, you said 45 minutes. It's been an hour and 10 already.
He just had half the pizza. It was good, though.
You last on that 10 delivery list that he got. He got 10 deliveries. You last on the list. Where you live at?
Exactly.
But here's the crazy thing. I was at the AFD last night, right? Getting some, I needed some fried gizzards in my life.
Okay.
So this was about midnight. And
where is that anyway? Is it still on Rhode Island?
In the inlet.
Yeah, Rhode Island. Yeah.
It's not too far from you, right in Rhode Island.
I've never been there. I know. I've never been down there.
You need to go. AFD is just a regular corner.
Hey, Mo, those gizzards are too light. I like my gizzards looking darker than that.
Well, you can always get them cooked, but you know what it is? Because they use the same batter as Rialto's chicken used to back in the day. So it gives me that type. I love that. So last night we got chicken bites, fish bites, we had whiting bites, and gizzards because it was a lot of us. So I made sure we had all that stuff. And then I got a shrimp jump off for my wife. But when we got there, no lie, there was about 5 different Grubhub, DoorDash drivers waiting for their food. I'm like, damn, it's a lot of people getting their food grub available at this time. And it's perfect timing because they're open till 4 a.m. anyway.
Right, because no one's open in the city. There's really not at the certain times. There's really not a lot of options.
Right.
In the city,
except for like Chelsea Pizza.
Like this.
I didn't know it was open. I didn't know it was open that late.
Yep. Try it out after. You will enjoy it. It's good. And it's right up your alley. You know how you like those seafood combo when you have the lobster?
No, they delivered like when they first opened up, I had like the seafood fries or whatever, but I had it on pasta. They want the potato. I had it on pasta.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
But
I don't know. He's having that conversation. Jeff wants to talk of how good it would have been if Trump was in office. Anyway. Wait, Jeff is reminding you Pizza King is available now.
I don't like that pizza. No,
Pizza the Roma over Pizza King. I'm sorry, Jeff. You just don't agree about nothing right about now.
Pizza King is horrible. It's too thick. It's too thick.
The bread is too thick. I've seen what come up out of there.
Which one?
Pizza King is too thick. That bread is so thick. That bread is so thick on Pizza King. Oh
yeah.
No, I'll do Pizza de Roma over Pizza King any day.
I'd rather get my salad at Pizza de Roma.
The salad got to come Geno's.
Yeah, I like Geno's salad too.
Do you? Okay.
What question, Jeff?
Jeff, I posed that question. Do you think the country would be better if Trump was still in office? No.
Sorry.
What part of no don't you understand? The big
no,
or the little?
It's a complete statement.
What
period.
No, don't you understand?
Sorry.
Hey, Jeff, we just said he should have been canceled. So why would he?
And I think he still think he won the election, so he still got a mental issue going on his side, you know.
Yeah.
So you can't get Jeff. You can't get no sympathy on this side, man.
Sorry.
No way, Jeff.
But Geno's, you get the shrimp salad, and that chicken.
Look, Jeff wants. He says, "Bring me in." Jeff, this is not like he used to with the Zoom.
Hey, beam him aboard. It's like Scotty, beam him aboard.
Jeff, this is not like the Zoom. This is a different one. I just sent you the link. Follow the link and come on in. You know how it is. You're part of the family. Stop acting like you don't know better. You know how we do.
Scotty, beam him aboard. This is a Starship Enterprise.
Act like you don't know no better. You part of the family. It's not like you ain't been part of the show. Laurel's like, I can't stand it. I'm too hungry.
That food was at the door. That food was at the door.
Exactly. Forget it. My man Rick Lugo's watching. What's up, Rick? Hopefully everybody's good, man. Enjoying the new norm. Thank you, brother. Le mando bendiciones a la familia, bro. You know how it is.
Sí, señor.
Let's see if Jeff comes in. Jeff's gonna come in swinging. Yo, they used to rip Jeff apart. My cousins and them with the memes. Oh my God, I felt so bad for him a couple times. I had to tell. I said, "Yo, Junior, leave him alone, man. You know, Junito, stop. You know." They used to, ride him like crazy. They would get really because he's the part owner of Drips in Absecon, right? And he has very strong editing abilities in Photoshop and stuff. So he creates these images, and it'd be riding, putting his face on donkeys, a whole bunch of shit. It was hilarious stuff that they would do. I would feel so bad about all the stuff that was going on, how he was coming, that I had to talk to my cousin. Yo, man, stop being so hard on him. Stop. Let him live. Let him live. That's what you feel. You gotta let him live.
This dude trying to make a left on Arctic. You can't make a left on Arctic. It's a one-way street. He's on New Jersey Avenue trying to make a left on Arctic.
Did you not see Did you not see that their contract, the delivery contract, is they don't follow the street signs?
Just remember one thing. It's legal until you get caught, okay? It's legal until you get caught.
Well, don't get caught on my part, on my end. Don't get caught because of me.
You're standing outside, well, you better relax. Don't get to become a target.
You got kid all night, man.
Good evening. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hold on, guys. Shut
up. Lucky I'm not there. I bite your ass for that. See? Look, she's happier now that she's about to get a pizza. So back to what we were saying, what we were talking about.
No. Hey, Mo, I'm no longer in delay, correct? I had too many windows open.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
And that's what was happening.
That's what it was? Okay,
yeah.
That's what it was? Okay, good. Well, thank you, brother. Hank, I got the perfect person on the line. My man, being that you are so well informed with cannabis now in the state of New Jersey, right?
All right.
And the way things are developing, what do you think the next move is for the city itself and how they're moving? I've got my own speculations based on, but you being not only a resource of information, but you're an advocate for it, and just letting people know so they don't think you're just a stoner type deal. No, he's an advocate. He's an advocate.
It's really interesting what's going on and how it's happening, but with this state, and so the most interesting part is these micro licenses, and that the community really don't understand what's going on. There will be options, but you have to be somebody that's from the state, this community. So a lot of people who want to be involved could have the opportunity if they're participating in a lot of these shows and latching on, or being let in the door with opportunity to show what's going on and say, oh, this is what's going on. If you link up with the right people, you might not have to have any money or anything. You might have somebody foot the whole bill for your whole operation, what you want to do, because they want to come in and get into New Jersey and get into the opportunities. Atlantic City is one of those cities that's open for the opportunities. Only thing is, I just don't know where the benefit for the city really comes in. How that translate back into the city.
That's exactly.
Let me lend into it. We've had people who come in from a legal standpoint show us. Latoya Dunstan met up with somebody not too long ago in a session. Her and Jeff Fauntleroy, they both met the same person, was able to get some information on how best benefits this whole new system. How does it best benefit the city? And they talk about through micro licensing, we can set up a certain fee level per micro licensing. And for just in case folks may not be understanding what micro license, every aspect of the marijuana or the cannabis industry is going to be regulated, and there'll be registrations and fees and licensings for every level. The cultivator, the distributor, the retail shop, the delivery person, the person who cleans the building at night, the security guard that has to manage the building. All of those people have to be registered with the state to be employees and also to have a micro license. My man Jeff, what's up, bro? Welcome back.
And delivery.
Yes, and delivery. And every license has a certain degree of
what's up, my family? Love y'all, bro. What's going on, bro? Listen, talking about that cannabis and talking about that cannabis, it's very unfair what's going on. It's very unfair what's going on because.
Go ahead, Jack. Okay, froze up.
Yeah.
He left us one.
Yeah. So
probably the same thing we talked about. There's no visible opportunities for entry level, or people don't have a big investment opportunity, don't have a lot of financial backing. They don't understand that there could be opportunities. And this is something I said every show before. We should start considering some of the ancillary businesses. If marijuana is an important factor, people who smoke marijuana like to eat. They get their munchies and they want to munch. So why not create a restaurant?
Right.
Why not get the delivery systems built on the CBD?
Put a Walmart in Atlantic City.
Yeah,
that'll be 24 hours. There you go.
Big. You know what I mean? Just on that.
What's going to happen is, I was in Vegas a week ago, and the dispensaries now are it's so saturated, where even with the micros, like when I first was going out there, some of the bigger companies and things like that, you can go to them. They got the security guards and all of that stuff out there. Now you can go out there and go to a little strip mall, and there'll be one dude in there with his own products and stuff, and he's able to do the same thing that the big dispensaries do. Now I don't know how they work that out in Vegas, where I guess he got to be paying them some type of taxes or in some way, some amount of money for a year. Maybe it's a set amount. I don't know what it is.
See, my problem with the cannabis is this. My problem with the cannabis here in Jersey or everywhere in the United States is people that was totally against it before and was trying to lock all of up because I got cannabis charges. You know what I mean? I got locked up for selling cannabis. You know what I'm saying? And now that it's legal, they make it harder for us. They got charged for it to sell it. Now all these rich people that was against it and it was making laws and all these laws and policies against cannabis, now they want to make all the money because they see how much money Arizona's making. They see how much money Vegas making. They see how much money California is making. When Arizona or Colorado legalized it, people became millionaires overnight.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And these rich people out here, like right now, Warren Buffett got something going on right here across from the press. That little building they're building here in Pleasantville. That's a cannabis building. Wow. Warren Buffett got something to do with that. You know what I mean? You got all these billionaires investing all their money in cannabis now. You know what I'm saying? And it's not fair. It's not fair to us.
Yeah.
I'm allergic to the crap, so I don't care one way or another.
That's why they won't let you home grow, because they want to make sure they reap the benefits of all the money that comes from it. Me and Ed Fortune, the New Jersey weed man, before it was legalized, I was going around the state. I was against it because of everything that you just said.
Yeah.
Even though I'm an advocate for it, I like it myself and all these different things. I was against it because it was just set up for rich folks to come in, swoop in, take advantage of it off the backs of people who suffered the consequences for it and who's been doing it, selling it, using it over the years, and now they just gonna come in and make this money, and all these people that suffer from it and have all these consequences and different things that can happen to them at the end of the day, and they don't have an answer for how do you deal with those people who's been in those situations. As far as you, let's say you want to get into the business now, you got to have $100,000 or $500,000 to get in the game that you know that all you need is a pound to get in. And
exactly.
Look at 1 pound and buy it from them. You can buy it from them after you flip the 1 pound from them. You buy it from them. You flip that 1 pound. And you keep going whatever it is in the store, and you do the same thing that any big entity is doing.
That's the gift we got. We got the gift that we can flip. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They got the money, but we can start from the bottom up. You know what I mean? And
you know what the reality of it is? That is not for us. It's for making easy access for white folks to be able to get bud and come in and slip in through Uber and whatever it is and get their marijuana and things like that. Because most of us is going to still buy our weed on the black market.
But you know something.
We don't have to buy taxes.
You know, you're looking at some of the casinos are going to try to get in on that also, because you know they already got a sports betting going on right there, and Atlantic City ain't getting any money from the sports
It's
betting,
the same
from the
thing.
booking. So now the next thing they're gonna, Atlantic City like, well, we're gonna get the weed going on now, and legalize. The casino's gonna get their own form of regulations that people could come down there. I've seen it on the casino floor when they were talking about making it legal. This one black guy came down there with a bong and puts it on the table and starts smoking pot on the casino floor. They say, yo, you can't do that. But eventually the casino is going to find a way, to actually get in on that game because they have the money.
We're going to have a place in the back where you can do that.
They're gonna work it out real well, because right now a lot of people are protesting against smoking on the casino floor. So they say, okay, you can't smoke cigarettes and stuff like that. But eventually they're gonna figure out a way on how to get cannabis into the casino because it matches up with the gambling. It's a way of if you're drinking. Look, you got the drinking with the liquor, you got the drinking, the gambling, the smoking. You tell me, it's a trifecta right there by itself. It's a
Listen,
big
man, I am a cannabis user. I am a cannabis user. I use cannabis, but the reason I use cannabis is not for entertainment use. I was a heroin addict before. I was addicted to opioids, and now that I've recovered since '98, I haven't touched opioids. But the reason why I take it is I have a real bad back issue.
Medical purposes.
Exactly. So back in the day when I was younger, I used to smoke 4 or 5 blunts a day, you know what I'm saying? But now like one blunt is enough to me. All I do is smoke to take the pain away. You know what I mean? I'm not a recreational smoker. I don't, you know what I mean? That's not me. But like I said, it's just a lot of people take it for granted that this thing do work for a lot of people. You know what I mean? Especially ex-addicts. A lot of people say, "Oh, that'll take you back to the old girl." No, it don't. You know what I mean? Marijuana is not a gateway drug.
Right. Okay.
It's not. Alcohol, yes, but marijuana is not, because I remember in the beginning of my recovery when I used to drink alcohol, it used to give me the urge to go get a bag of dope. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So like now that I'm in the level that I am, you know what I mean? You can never turn your back on your old addiction, but on the level that I am is like, I tell people I would never go there. Like it's been a long time since I've been done it. You know what I'm saying? I went to my back doctor. He tried to give me Percocets. I was like, oh, no. Right. I was like, can I get the marijuana card? He says, well, we got to work, you know what I mean? So I'm working on getting my card so I could, you know what I mean, ride around with it legal. You know what I'm saying? Because even though it's legal, you still get a ticket if you get caught with it. If you don't have a card.
That's,
you know what I mean?
That's the one important factors that I've always been supportive. The compassionate reason for marijuana use. The medical aspect, because people with glaucoma, people with chronic pain illnesses, chronic Crohn's disease, diabetes, cancer. There's so many different factors with people who are very ill. And instead of getting these addictive medicines, opioids being prescribed, they'd rather use something that's less damaging, that's not addictive to the degree that they are not damaging themselves. So marijuana was a compassionate option. And I was
suffering from migraines. I can't even be in the same room with that crap because I'm allergic to it.
Right.
So go figure that.
Yeah, yours is odd. I think has to do with the membranes behind your nasal passage.
Look at that new stuff they sell on the stores, that Delta 8 new stuff.
That has too many side effects and everything else.
It's bud, but what it is the way I understand it is the THC is 2 levels of THC, is the Delta 9 and Delta 8. So Delta 8 is the legal way. It's legal to sell Delta 8. You know what I'm saying? So you have a lot of like corner stores selling this stuff. Well, I tried it.
I'm allergic to the THC. That's the issue. That's the problem. Okay. I can walk by. Somebody can walk by me and it's in their pocket, and my eyes and nose and stuff will start burning, itching. So
wow. I bought it to try it out, and I'm gonna tell you what, it worked pretty good for me. When it came to my pain, it worked better than the street one.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And it's cheaper. It's way cheaper, But
you know what?
And then the thing, sorry, Mo, but the thing about it, what's crazy about it is, my brain runs at 100 miles an hour. I go on a freaking Atlantic City Press, and there's a politician voting against it because everybody's making money with it, trying to get it out the market. No, this is not the third, because it's illegal. Like right now, it's legal to sell it, but Delta 8. You know what I'm saying? So you got all these corner stores making all this money, and they're getting mad about that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Money's the root of a lot of problems.
Money's the root of all evil.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a business owner earlier today, and they're concerns about whether there'll be a chances for retail outlets on the boardwalk as far as cannabis is concerned, or marijuana. I said, logically speaking, whatever kind of barriers are in place will find and fade away, because if they can sell alcohol on the boardwalk, have open containers of alcohol on the boardwalk, the next thing would be just logically allow people who smoke weed to be able to go back and forth. It could be offensive to some people, but alcohol is equally offensive to some people. I don't know about y'all, but I enjoy a drink here and two. But walking past a place that's like really dense with alcohol, the smell sometimes bothers me too. So I understand either which way, to each their own. But you have to give equal balance to access to people's vices if it's legal. Right. You know, it's a vice, but if it's legal, it's legal. So
but the reaction of an alcoholic and the reaction of a stoner is two different reactions.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Most alcoholics are obnoxious, ignorant, stupid.
That's what you're saying.
You know what I mean? But smoking, a lot of people that smoke, like chronic smokers, all they like to do is chill, you know what I mean? Joke around. And ain't no crazy people, like, you know what I'm saying? All the people that they say that they went crazy because they smoked weed. No, there was something else in that weed that they smoked.
I'm not going to say whether you act a certain type of way, but if you're an asshole, regardless if you drink or you smoke, you're going to be an asshole.
That's just really the inhibition. If you're an asshole, you're an asshole.
True.
I mean, because I've come in contact with smokers who are assholes, and when they smoke, it didn't change anything. They just probably didn't automatically jump in your face. They just they were still assholes. So it depends on people. It depends on people.
I see it every night at work.
Yeah,
I see it every night at work. Every room we go to, whether it's a domestic or it's an issue, coming down the hallway, they open the door, you get hit in the face with a puff of smoke. And then they got the daggone Hennessy going. So between the Hennessy and the weed, this pack. Get out. Get out.
Yeah.
And I think that's half of the issues that we have, is that there's so much overload going on with our society today. When they drink, they got to get so drunk that when they high, they got to be so high that their mind doesn't function regularly. And then that's the ones who look for that additional high by getting involved with other shit, popping pills. And now in society today, pills seem to be accepted. You know, when I was growing up, it was a shameful thing to even smoke out in public. You know, you
heard that hit song. You heard that hit song.
Right. It wasn't something that you did in the public. You did it. People
understood,
but it wasn't something.
You did it
now. Even pills, they popping it like it's nothing. You got a Xan, you got a perk, and they just run around like it's nothing. And I'm like, this is the product of society. We're in danger. We have to be careful for this, man. It's really hard.
Yeah. But you know that one song that we got, the Latin song that's not number one in the billboards for mad long, and it's all it talks about is ecstasy. And they even got the freaking ecstasy pill in the video, like that song Pepa by Farruko.
Okay, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's what it talks about.
Farruko.
Pepa agua para seca. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who that by? Farruko.
Farruko.
Yeah.
Is that
he's a reggaeton artist.
Oh, reggaeton. Okay.
Yeah. He's real popular, but he came up with that song, and the song, everywhere you put it, everybody go crazy for it. I'm talking about stadiums full singing the song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I'm going to Puerto Rico in around the 23rd. We didn't wait the plans yet, but I think we're ready to go like this month, November.
Okay.
If you go now, you're about to enjoy yourself something big, bro. And if you do that, please do so. Just be safe.
Like the 23rd, we're trying to work it out. Okay. So yeah, we
got a lot of festivals going on now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because September. Yeah, September. You know, because we party in Puerto Rico from late November until March.
Yeah. You gotta look at it. It's about what? How many municipalities do we have? Like I don't remember.
29, 30.
Somebody, the amount of municipalities is the amount of weeks. Every municipality gets 2 weeks of 2 weeks of party.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So so every municipality gets 2 weeks. So you gotta cut that 2 weeks here, 2 weeks there. When the 2 weeks is over here, we're going to another town. We're going to another town. It's like bar hopping.
Yep, you have festivals. Yep.
Yep. Instead of bar hopping, you festival hopping.
So they keep the economy going in each.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Nobody know how to enjoy poverty and hardship than we do, man.
Yep.
Blackouts everybody come outside cooking out.
But no, I beg to differ because at one time Puerto Rico was one of the richest countries, one in the Caribbean. Until everything tanked. And then one of the richest countries. I mean, a lot of investors went down to Puerto Rico to invest their money and hide a lot of that money down there.
And then this Italian guy said, I discovered this and then killed most of my family members back then. He wanted now he got a holiday named after him, please.
Yep, exactly. That's correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But listen, I am a very, very big fan of Pedro Albizu Campos. He was one of our they call him the revolutionary leader, but he was really an independent. And yeah, he was very independent, and he actually eventually got killed by the government. But he said it back in the 1930s that Puerto Rico, the reason why America wanted Puerto Rico was because Puerto Rico was a strategic area for ports.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And we were making at that time over $50 billion or something like that. Like it was the amount of money he said that Puerto Rico was generating is like unreal. You know what I mean? And that's just in ports.
It gives you an example. The Jones Act prevents from any country delivering anything into Puerto Rico without having to come to the Jones Act says that anyone who has to deliver into Puerto Rico has to stop in Miami first, get billed taxation, and then another boat brings it into Puerto Rico.
Only American boats can dock in Puerto Rico, basically.
That's it. And nobody can do that. This is
if a Chinese boat comes, they have to stop, unload it, and put it on American boats, and then take it to Puerto Rico.
Yep. Tariffs. That's the Jones Act. Jones Act never enacted anywhere else. Never affects anyone else. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Guam ain't got shit.
No kidding.
They treat Guam. They treat people of Guam like dirt. That's a shame, man.
Our country don't educate people to understand things like this and know that. Hold up, this is America, and these are the American principles and values. But yet, this is what America does to their own so-called. This is basically a state in the United States, right. And this is what they do. But the reason that you understand that they do because they're not white Americans per se, and whether it be Haiti or any of those islands out there, even though America is U.S. Virgin Islands. All these things are subjected to these particular things, these other overtones of racisms, and where they don't get the respect that they should get for being a state of this country and the other values that this country is supposed to do, just as they're supposed to give African Americans and everybody else and Puerto Ricans and everybody else in the first place.
Yep.
Hey, Jeff, you born and raised in Atlantic City?
Yes.
You went to Massachusetts Avenue School?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You know what I mean? Hey, Mo, you went to Massachusetts too, right?
No.
Where you went to?
Brighton Avenue.
I went to Brighton. I went to Brighton too.
Did you?
I went to Massachusetts and Brighton.
Okay. I couldn't go Massachusetts.
I know. I remember your name from somewhere.
Green.
Yeah, I was like, I might have went to school with you.
I went to Massachusetts, and I went to and then I went to Brighton. I went to Brighton for like 6th grade, maybe.
Okay.
But before that,
I think the issue why I didn't go into Massachusetts is my mom was a crossing guard back then. She couldn't get into register me to get into school in time right there because she was a crossing guard right there. But they gave her an opportunity to go to Brighton, and she left it at that because the crossing guard, Nancy Nistico, God rest her soul, used to watch me. I was a latchkey kid per her, and she watched it, and that's how it ended up being why I went to.
Man, don't talk about crossing guards, bro. Our crossing guard knew my whole family. We couldn't do nothing wrong.
That was probably my mom. My mom, you know how my mom Ada, she was the one that was like the mayor of the community.
The white crossing guard was married to my uncle's brother.
Oh, yes, you know.
She used to be right there in Massachusetts in Pacific.
Oh
The little
yeah.
Spanish lady.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And she, like I said, she would tell my grandpa. My grandpa was our father figure. Like, grandpa used to feed us up, boy.
Because I remember, like, I used to live right there on Massachusetts, in the row houses that were going down all the way down to the convalescent home. I was on that right there where Afty is, or like on that right side where Afty is. Those buildings, they were like 4-story buildings, apartment buildings. We was going up all of me right there, and I lived on that side. But on the other side of the street were those big apartment buildings, and a lot of the Catholic Spanish people lived in there. And I remember the girls used to always wear dresses and things like that, and that I was in school with, and that lived in the buildings and things like that. They always had to wear dresses and things.
You remember when we was growing up back then, there were still Jewish people living in there.
And Jewish people around there.
Yes. I had a Jewish lady, my neighbor. She used to treat us real good.
Yep, beautiful people. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right on the corner of Pacific Avenue, that one building that's still there, that was filled with nothing but Jewish people. Across from what used to be, matter of fact, they used to have a temple there.
Well, you see where the playground is right there. That was the Jewish. What that was a funeral home, I think.
No, that's still there on the cross street.
Yeah, it's still there.
It's still there.
It's still there.
My uncle, my cousin's father was. We just buried him through there.
Oh, really? Yeah. I didn't know it was still open.
Yeah, well, listen to this. That bagel spot. You know that bagel spot there. Well, that my uncle fixed that to build that.
Okay.
It was called Jitney Terminal Deli.
I remember that back to me.
Okay. My uncle Nelson bought that. You know what that was?
I know Nelson.
Yeah, you know what that?
Nelson.
You know what that was? That was the morgue for that funeral home.
Was it?
Wow.
Yes, that was the morgue.
It gives us a whole nother perspective to cold cuts.
Yeah, exactly. That was my uncle bought that. My uncle bought that dirt cheap. I'm talking about dirt cheap.
What's that?
He stripped it down to the bone, and he freaking had my other cousin build it, and he built a deli from scratch.
Okay.
But it was a morgue. That was their morgue.
I remember Nelson. No.
Yep.
What's that?
Yep, that's my uncle.
That's a drink, right? That's a drink, right?
Like an alcoholic drink.
What?
She's teasing me. That's what it is. She knows. Cool.
That's all right.
She's so mean.
Gasolina.
Hey, I got a question for you. What junior high school did you attend?
Chelsea.
Ooh.
So did I.
That's right, baby. Clippers. What?
Yeah. Still got the yearbook too.
I do too.
I went to Brigantine.
Wait, Frank, Hank, what
I was bougie.
I was in 90, class of 90.
In 90? Okay.
Yeah.
My cousin was.
I went there in the 70s.
Yeah, I missed a couple grades. I missed a couple grades in between here and there. I started school late, and I think I got they sent me to Indiana one year, and I walked out of Indiana saying, I don't like this place. I don't like it. And
my brother went to that one, Massachusetts, and then I have a niece that went to two nieces, as a matter of fact, that went to Indiana.
I didn't like Indiana.
Nobody liked it in Indiana school.
You wouldn't pull out a yearbook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, you're still young, man. 1984, please.
Hey, man.
You know what I'm saying?
Great. I earned my
1984, I was out of high school.
I was in the year after Mo, I think, maybe.
I was out of high school, gentlemen.
In 84, I was in what? First grade, second grade?
Wow. I'm older than all you guys here. It's amazing.
Hold up, Mo. 84. I'm in there, right?
You in there? Because you had
I'm in there, right? You don't even know if you went to school there?
Because you had the different grades. You had 17. Yeah.
I can't remember the year.
No wonder you're in favor of weed.
Next year's over because the only greens we had was Cheryl Green and Juanita.
Right. So I was in the next year, 86.
The next one, right?
No, I couldn't. How could I be that? Because I was in high school at 86 to 90.
Mm-hmm. Like, look,
so I had to be 84.
He's probably somewhere else. He's gonna be laughing, but I don't know if y'all can see it. There go Frank.
Okay.
Frank Gilliam.
Yeah. I'm the year after that. I'm the year after y'all leave. I'm the next year.
Okay.
I'm in the next year.
I was way.
So I'm 4 years behind y'all.
I moved on.
You have some youth to you, yes.
Lavrel?
Hey, yeah, I'm 4 years behind them, but I went to Mays Landing School.
Mays Landing? Which one?
I went to Oakcrest.
I was going to say.
All right, ladies, hold your socks. I'm gonna show you something sexy right there. Right there. I don't know if you can see it. This is a picture of your boy. Look at the tube socks on that man with a hockey stick.
That look like his son.
Yeah. Basically.
Hey Mo, remember we used to play scatter dodge in field hockey?
Yeah.
Mo, let me find out you're trying to play hockey, Mo.
Yo, hey, we play hockey.
They played hockey at Atlantic City High School. I was one of the best hockey players in Atlantic City High School.
At Brighton, we play hockey. We play scatter dodge with the ball. 1, 2, 3 steps. Throw that ball.
Scatter dodge was
scatter dodge was good.
Yeah.
We had a lot of good games. We had a lot of good games when we were in school.
It was because we all went to school. Everybody from
elementary school.
Everybody from Pitney went to Brighton, so it was always gangster. Everybody want to try to act this way, that way. We know each other.
City High, huh? She ended up in Atlantic City High, though. She went to Holy Spirit Elementary, but she ended up in Atlantic City High with me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying I got my high school yearbook too. What's up?
I got mine upstairs. I got grade school, high school.
Hey Mo, that's one of the issues that me running for the school board that I'm standing on is that we need middle schools again. New kids that are inside those elementary schools right now that are a negative impact on our younger children, and we see them do a lot of things. They think that when they get a certain age, these are the things they're supposed to do. Right. We had middle schools like that, and it's a two-pronged. The other part of it is that we have this violence in our cities because of where sectionalism of where these different jokers live at. When and by the time they get to the high school, they fighting. But this way, if they're in middle schools and on teams and meeting each other and a part of different things with each other, I think that have a more positive impact on them reacting and understanding that just because they live one place or another place, that doesn't pertain to them what other people are doing.
That crap is taught. They don't go to school in grade school learning that crap is taught.
Yeah, they suck it up from the adults that they come around.
The schools are going crazy, right? Schools are crazy right now, man.
Tell me,
you guys hear that shit that happened in Virginia with that transgender boy? Y'all hear about that?
What do you do? I did.
Well, it was a boy. He dressed with a dress on and everything, talking about he's transgender.
Oh yeah,
went into the girl's bathroom and raped the girl.
Oh, see, that's the problem.
And then the thing about it is the school board tried to hide it. Come to find out, the father did a big thing about it. He went to the school board meeting. He got out, took him out. They took him out, arrested him, and then come to find out, the kid had another charge that had to hide.
I don't care what you identify yourself or if you got a chota or a female, you go to the bathroom where you're supposed to go. I don't care if you identify yourself as male, female, them, it, they, whatever.
And this is what Dave Chappelle is talking about. We're allowing these individuals to promote and push that stuff on us as if this stuff is appropriate and okay based upon their, them having the power that they have.
The risk is the risk of
now they're talking about they want their own bathroom and all this crap. No. Like
that's
yeah. I don't know if Mo remember because I know Mo has me on Facebook for a long time. I said that was gonna happen. I said it. I said it was gonna happen. They were gonna dress as girls. You know how many perverted people we got out there?
Oh hell yeah! You know, perverted
And,
people are here.
and they're so perverted that they're liable to dress like a woman to go in a women's bathroom and peek on them, bro.
Hey, look, my lady
Yeah.
works.
No, bicho, you use the men's bathroom.
Yeah, that's right.
They don't
Like I told my wife.
use
I
the
told my
female
wife,
bathroom.
it hasn't. Thank God it hasn't happened. Excuse me, but thank God it hasn't happened yet. But I told my wife, the day you go to a public bathroom and I see a man dressed as a woman trying to go behind you, we're gonna have a problem. I'm not gonna let him go in there.
Hey, look,
I'm gonna stop him right there in his tracks.
I'm going back to Tropicana way back into the like 80s when I used to work there, many years before you even got into the casino business. And I remember one time we were called to a man dressed as a woman going inside the women's bathroom. All the women inside there scattered, and they called security automatically. We had to go in there, or we sent a female guard in there to escort them out of there.
But now they got laws setting up. You can't ask them, for their ID or whatever. They come out, identify as a man, identify as a woman.
Yeah,
they want to sue because now we're discriminating. No, you got between your legs the same as mine, and you go to the same bathroom.
If I was a rapist,
okay, what you identify as?
If I was a rapist, and I'm smart enough to know that the law is that I can just say that. But my lady works at Stockton, and she says she goes into the bathroom. Of course, this is one of these schools, whatever it is. So she says she's in the bathroom, and she's using the bathroom. She gets out, and she goes wash her hand. And she says all of a sudden this man with a whole full fucking beard comes out, mustache, full beard, and a dress on, and boots, come out the bathroom at the stall next to her and start washing his hands. And she's looking like, oh my God, like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, man.
Because I can remember, being younger and dumber. If the ladies' bathroom line was down a corner, I go to the men's room. Who cares? It's a toilet. You know what I mean? But nowadays it's like they will try to sue you if you tell them they can't use that bathroom. Sue away.
Beard and a mustache. If a joker coming up and going in, my daughter's in there, and you got a beard and a mustache, you going in there, we gonna have a problem.
It's a problem. Exactly. It's a problem, and you can't use. You can't use the fact that you identifying as whatever other race to commit a crime. If you're going in these bathrooms and you're fondling these kids or you raping women, then you should have been in the men's room in the first place, because obviously either you're lesbian or gay. I'm neither. So it was like, what's the problem?
What makes their rights more than my rights of having?
They treat them more better than they treat us.
That's all I'm saying. I have rights too. I feel.
I want to sue too. I was discriminated because I'm a black hard-working woman. How about that? Who can I sue?
Well,
do you want me to say?
Right. This is what I'm saying. This is why the discussion needs to be had, because there's too much getting pulled on one side, and because people are cowards, they don't want to have this conversation.
But you know why is that?
And they'll have straight up, honest answers about stuff.
Well, ain't nobody's coward.
But you know why?
I'm saying, not you. Not just about to throw Trump in here. I watch.
No.
I'm just saying in general.
No,
in general, I don't have enough politics in me.
The problem is that these leaders
they got balls to really stand up when they need to.
The problem is these politicians are either transgender or gay nowadays, bro. You got Peter Buttigieg up there.
Okay.
You got the health secretary. She's a freaking transgender. Yeah. So they're gonna defend their people, bro. Let's be real.
You got all the Hollywood. You got all the Hollywood and all media.
Yup. You know what I mean?
And they're calling them influencers or something?
Exactly.
Find Jesus. Don't try me. Try Jesus. That's what I say.
I don't mind what you do in your private time, but I don't like nobody saying to my kids, and you too can be gay.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what they're doing. And you too can be gay.
And don't go to a school board meeting and protest that. They'll send the feds after your ass.
Man. I'm not. But I do.
You know about that?
I'm like Hank to a degree, because I say whatever you do, however you do, that's your business. Whatever you do in your room, in your personal space, is your business. I will defend your ability and your rights to be able to do that. However, your rights don't supersede mine.
Exactly.
Exactly. If you want to be whipped and chained and in the privacy of your own bedroom, fine. But don't put that out on social media for me to see it. I don't want to see that.
You're going to sit there and promote that to my grandson. My grandson can be a girl if he wanted to be. You crazy.
Right.
He was born a dude.
And they know how everything's a fad these days. You got kids trying this crap because of social media, and it's a fad now. They want to try to be with a man or try to be with a woman just for a fad because these videos and these
hip hop boys, young hip hop boys coming out with
them. Hank, you have to also remember that some of these kids that's growing up today have also been molested as children growing up also.
But we as adults have to have conversation with our children too to see what they're talking about, to see what questions they have instead of going to their friends, you know.
You have to identify the problem first to find a solution.
Because we don't know what the problem is because they don't talk to us. They rather talk to their friends or put it out on social media, Instagram.
If your kids don't talk to you, you're looking to the community to raise your child. It's supposed to start at home. And then
I raised my own child.
Correct.
I raised my own child.
You don't need a community to raise your child, even though they said it takes a community. Yes, I get it. But
it takes a village. It does take a village, but not this village.
But like I said,
not this village that we live in now, because
how many parents out there don't even pay attention to their own kids? They could be playing with a child molester, but their kids won't even freaking tell their parents, or the parents won't even. Oh, he's a nice guy. He always comes around here and takes my kids for a walk.
And you got people
nowadays the people
we turn our cheeks to child molesters
because
they're related to people who potentially can stop you from making money or making money.
Listen, if I see a grown-ass person getting too close to my grandkids, talking about I want to take them to the park and all, I'm a very suspicious, bro.
My whole thing is nowadays, when you take a village to raise a child, these kids or whoever their parents are or whatever nowadays, you can't even chastise that child for doing something you know they shouldn't be doing and taking them home. To them, because now they want to fight you.
That too.
Now they want to fight you.
But at the end of the day, remember, you still have the parent-child relationship. You still have to remember that because that child will still be your daughter. It's still going to be your son. I know I have lots of nieces and nephews, and their parents will tell you, Uncle Adrian, don't play that because at the end of the day, you're still responsible. If he goes out there and he's still under your roof and he gets shot, it's your responsibility to actually deal with that, to bury him and everything else. So at the end of the day, it still falls back on you.
Here's the difference in the paradigm.
And we don't want to talk about
a person, an adult can have a great relationship with their child. If the adult has a miscued, unbalanced sense of morality, that child is going to have that miscued, bad sense of morality. They still have a good relationship, but
it's taught in the home.
One's getting high, the child's going to get high, and they get high. They have a great relationship because how they relate to what things are like. There's no foundation of moral understanding and values and principles. Then these kids don't learn on their own. Unfortunately, this is their product. And I made a post about that. I said,
and they're not teaching nothing in school.
We have to be more accountable to the actions that our kids have because they're learning it from us or in our absence from us.
Correct.
That's the truth. While we're struggling trying to work 2-3 jobs, they had to raise themselves almost.
Exactly.
So it's a product, the end product of some of the choices we've made.
But look at Philadelphia. Philadelphia right now, all those kids are dying like crazy in some of the bigger cities like Chicago with the gun violence and the whole 9 yards. And the first thing they will tell you, oh yeah, my mom and dad don't pay any attention to me. So this guy who's in a gang or whatever the case may be, I get more attention from him or the dope dealer. And then that's what they want to grow up to be because they actually see that image. And then when they look at the TV and then they look at the videos.
Well, that's been like that since the beginning of time.
Right. The same crime.
That's been like that since the beginning of time.
Different city, same crime.
You know, and then I'm looking at my son's homework. They're teaching him the same crap that I was learning when I was in school. So it's no problem doing his homework because I was what's the new stuff? The only thing new that they're teaching that I don't know is that basic, the math crap. No, 1, 2, and 3 still adds up to 5. Whatever how you add it up, it's still 5. Y'all don't need to be doing all these extra steps and these blocks and the mazes and crap to know how that 1, 2, and 3 adds up to be 5.
Let me tell you something.
6. 1, 2, 3, 6.
When I went to high school, the thing about it is when I attended high school, to Atlantic City High School.
Somebody has an echo. I don't know what it is.
When I attended Atlantic City High School, my teachers I remember I came from the island of Trinidad, and the way we actually did math was different, but we came up with the same answer. Like the addition wheel start from a different angle, adding up things. Right. So I had to reformat everything in my head to go with the American way. America did not go to metric, until years later. Trinidad already had it down there. So we had the standard way of conversion as far as measurement. Then we had to change over to the metric system, which was very complicated because imagine your child learning the standard form of measurements, yards, feet, inches, and that type of thing. And then you go to centimeters, millimeters, kilograms, and all of this kind of stuff. It twisted your freaking brain around. I know. I was a product of that. And that's
child needs to know all of these things just to get through adult life.
They did a study in Puerto Rico, right? And they went to the schools and they went to study I don't know if Mo heard about this, but they went and researched all the textbooks that we had in the schools. The textbooks were like 30 something years old. Like some old crap that my mom learned. Like, I'm trying to exaggerate a little bit, but it's like the textbook is nothing modern. It's not modern at all. It's stuff that like
it's all English.
Like it's like us as Puerto Ricans, we think about it and we think about like they don't want us educated. They want us dumbfounded. They don't want us to know what the hell is going on because they want to control us the way they control us now.
The working class.
That's what they do in Puerto Rico.
I never thought I would go open up a history book and it says Donald Trump was the president of the United States.
It's so anything can happen. Going on right now, what they want in Atlantic City. They don't. That's why we don't have any news stations. We don't have no radio stations, no talk shows.
Keep your ignorance.
Nothing. Facebook. I don't even turn the TV on.
Facebook has nothing of value because they're talking about the same ignorant stuff that the
politicians
are the main ones promoting their ignorance right there on Facebook, and we're following ignorance because we're thinking that's the way around here. And we're really
I'm talking about the newsworthy stuff. I'm not talking about the ignorant, dumb stuff. I'm talking about the newsworthy stuff. I don't know anything that's going on because I barely turn that TV on. I barely turn the TV on.
You go to the wrong place for newsworthy stuff.
Well, I don't know any other platform. I don't use Instagram. I don't use
Facebook or Press True News.
What about the radio?
But this is what we
What's
do.
The radio?
This is the new norm has been doing.
In your car, like please.
That's the good thing about the new norm.
Exactly. Right. That's what we do. Talk about local issues and try to spread news.
acpress.com. That's what I look at.
and that's so biased.
That is very one-sided.
I'm being very sarcastic. You do understand that, right?
Oh, okay.
I don't speak it.
Thank you for the clarity.
Yeah. Look, we was ready to jump on him, boy.
Thanks for
the clarity. Listen, I've been following this.
I'm just speaking from like a general point. Like I barely turn that TV on.
Listen, I've been
turn the TV
on. I've been following this newspaper, right? It's an online newspaper. And so far, they're like 90% accurate on the news that they throw out. And I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me, but it's called a Gateway Pundit. I don't know if you ever heard of it.
I never heard of it.
It's called a Gateway Pundit. And they're like they tell you the news like it is, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes I read something from them, and like 4 days later, it comes out on the news. Like, but a lot of the stuff that they put up there, you guys can do your own judgment. But it's called the Gateway Pundit.
I read many different types of news sites. As a matter of fact, I get different news sites that are sent to me from black news sites, CNN, MSNBC, Fox, whatever it is. I read all the different perspectives and views. But one of the things we were talking about before about the kids and the parents in Atlantic City, I believe that many of these parents, their children, but they're not good parents. They don't know how to parent. They don't understand what parenting is.
No, because the kids are in front of the TV with the remote control in their hand or the video controller instead of picking up a book, a magazine, a comic book, something.
Some of these parents wants to be their kid's friend. You
can't. I tell my daughter,
I ain't your damn friend. I got friends. You ain't my friend. Go upstairs and do what I told you to do.
Absolutely. Do as I say, not as I do. You know what I mean? I mean,
parents like that. They're like, I'm real tight with my daughter, like my son and like my friend. I'm like, so where's the parent? Is the dog wagging the tail? Is the tail wagging the dog here?
Right. Yeah.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Well, then a lot of them were kids, and the kids were growing up with your kids.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem.
I raised my
I'm 45. Most 45-year-old women that I know are grandmoms nowadays.
I raised my children in North Camden. That's where I raised my kids, in North Camden, which was the worst neighborhood in Camden.
Mm-hmm.
And thank God, thank the Lord that all three of them graduated from high school. My daughter could have went to college. She chose not to. My son went into the Air Force. You know what I mean? And my other son, he's like an entrepreneur. He does like sneakers and all kind of stuff. You know what I mean? He restores sneakers and all different kind of stuff. But it's like my man says, it's the parenting problem, man. It's the parenting problem. We got these young kids having kids, and they're not even they don't even like they say in Puerto Rico. No se sabe limpiar el culo, and they're gonna show somebody else to do it.
Say it again. Say it again, Papa. Say it again.
You can't even clean your own ass, but you're gonna show somebody.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So like that's what's going on. It's that we got young kids raising young kids. You know
And like I said, it's not that they don't love their children, because that's the point that
they don't know. They don't know.
They
don't know nothing about loving no child. They don't love themselves.
They do. They love their children. They just don't know how to.
Now, you know what the problem is? That a lot of parents want to be friends with their children.
That's what I just said.
Nah, I ain't your friend.
I'll
tell you right off the bat, I ain't your friend.
They want to be. I can't. I'm not gonna do to my child what they did to me.
But
Jeff, what they did to me,
right?
Even still, they're not gonna do with the child. But you gotta learn. You got to know what's the difference between being a parent and being a friend. You can be friendly.
I'm a parent that actually are lousy parents. And the first thing that says, Adrian, you know something? You won't understand because you don't have any kids. I'm like saying, I understand a lousy parent when I see one.
Exactly. I don't have any kids for a reason.
One thing I told my son, specifically knowing that I'm raising a black man in society today, a Latino who understood his race, he understands his ethnicity, understands his role. Told him a long time ago, I am not your friend, I'm your father. I'm preparing you for you to bury me, and you have to represent your line of lineage, your people, your family, your name. You have to represent for me when I'm gone. You have to be the best you that you can possibly be and outdo me. All this stuff about being friends,
be better than me.
Be better than me, exactly.
Outdo me. Right.
I'm too selfish. I'm selfish, so I had to learn how to not be selfish when it comes to raising my child. You know what I mean? But I guess God knew something better.
I told him a point. I said, son, you think I'm worrying about you hating me? I said, if you are a damn good person, productive in the whole nine, I've done everything I had to. If you hated me and did that, I've done what I had to. I can fade off and pass away, and I'll be okay.
Go ahead, hate me. Hate against fear.
I'm not as concerned about I'm not because
if you hate me, you fear me. That's a good thing.
Right. My role is to raise you to be the best man. He has a tattoo on his arm that we gave it to him as a rites of passage that said, born to be a man, raised to be a king. There's certain levels of dignity he has to hold, certain levels of understanding, and he has to commit to being the best person he can. And it ain't based on me. And there's a level of respect that we have in camaraderie. But I told him, I said, friends is not the trait that I want to hold on to. Father is the one that I hold mine.
Know your position. Know your
teacher. Yeah. Father and teacher. Those are the two important ones that I hold with my son.
Know your position.
Most important.
And children don't know things unless you teach them. Like a lot of times
they're not born hating the skin of the other person. They're taught that.
And you don't explain to them why you're telling them not to do this, why you're telling them not to do that, why am I saying this to you?
Well, like me, I'm having a problem now that my grandson's 7 years old. He's starting to lie a little bit. I catch him on lies. Yeah. So his father was a big liar when he was younger, and still is to this day. Like,
disappointing.
So I'm like, I put him to the side. I was like, son, Papito, that's what I call him, Papito. I said, Papito, you cannot be lying. Let me tell you why. Because people hate liars. When you lie, when you come with the truth, they won't believe you.
Correct.
So why would you be a liar? Be honest with yourself. Be honest. Don't lie. And if you lie, Papa gonna be very mad at you.
Right.
But
they're gonna be.
listen,
They'll be mad at the truth, but they respect you more for it.
Yes, they do.
Listen, I gotta go live my poor man's life, man. I gotta go to work, bro. I gotta holler at you guys.
Yo, you have a blessed night, bro. Be safe out there.
Night.
Have a good night.
All right, have a good night, bro.
Have a great time, man. God bless, man.
God bless.
Buenas noches.
Bye-bye.
But one thing that my mother raised me with humility in certain things because my father wasn't there. So I learned from the lack of having what I needed to be as a man to teach my son to be. And also the humility to understand that for him to be totally intact, I have to make sure that his mother is by my side. I want him to have what I didn't have. So as a parents, we're coming together to raise him. And he's gotten to a point right now, he's 18 years old, right? Still to this day, he has a certain level of innocence to him, but he's grown. He's a grown man. But one thing that I've taught him from the very beginning, I'm not going to tolerate a liar, and I'm not going to tolerate a thief. No way in hell, a liar and a thief. And him and I, we've gotten to situations where I treat him like a straight up man. You want to man up? Not a problem. Take there's 2 shots to the grill. Take this shot in the chest, real, like a man. Raising him like a man and making sure if I'm going to put my hands on you, you understand it's not because I want to destroy you. It's because this is an ultimatum for the choices you've made. And I can't tolerate it. I'm not going to allow you to be the failure that you will intend to be if you're allowed to do that and think it's okay. Nah, there's a consequence. There's a consequence.
You know?
Hey,
Mo, you know what was crazy? After I did the thing the other night at the school board, so-called my friends called me in the morning and they were chastising me. They're like, "Oh, I got in trouble for you, what you said and what you did." I'm like, "What? You got in trouble? You grown ass man? Who the hell? What grown ass man get in trouble by some other grown ass man?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" Right. And so me and my friends, we go back and forth. And one of my friends is like, "You could be doing more for your kids and stuff like that." I'm like, "What are you talking about doing for my kids?" I got 3 daughters. I'm like, my daughters are grown. They're living their life and they're doing what they're doing. And furthermore, you could be helping them. I'm like, I did what I needed to do for my children. And if my children need my help, they will call and ask me. But they're so independent in how I raise them that they don't even want my help.
There we go.
That's right.
That's a success. Right. That's success.
If I
keep telling mine, I was like, I ain't gonna be around forever.
And give them guidance to say, whatever it is, all right, Dad, I hear you and all of that. But this is what I'm gonna do this on my own. These are the type of children I have, and I understand why they are like they are because I instilled in them these particular attitudes and principles. I had one daughter, I was like, "Yo, you got this nice guy, this guy really loves you," and whatever. But Dad, you told me to go and once I graduate and live first and see the world and have my own experience before I do, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, he's a great guy and blah, 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 blah. But I want to see the world and see other things and make sure that such and such and such and such. And I'm just looking at her like, okay, like, damn, I did that shit too good. Like, oh my goodness, this is better than the greatest gift you can have when other people come to you and say, "Hey, I met your child."
Right.
And they are the most beautiful type of human beings in the world.
Yep. Yeah.
And you
did a good job.
And in sarcasm, this is a person who I would consider that maybe necessarily don't like me.
Right.
But he had to come and say, "I don't like you, but I met your child.
I respect you for what you do." Exactly.
And your child, I don't know how this child became. This is what he's saying to me. But this is a beautiful person and a human being, and your daughter, and she is. And I don't know how that's your child. Is what he said.
Wow. Okay. I've heard similar. Nobody's questioned whether that was my child, and I guess
like,
I did it myself. But
he's like,
I hear you. That is a blessing when you hear
your
child has left a great impression.
He was trying to still stab me at the same time, but I told you, yo, you paying me the biggest compliment that a man could have.
Yeah, you can't deny the truth. This is where it came from. Fruit don't fall far off the tree. Respect the tree. That's right.
You know, and it's like those things that I get when I'm talking about the things that I'm talking about with my children, and I'm not going to say that I've been an easy person for my children. My children think that I'm bipolar. Like, Dad, you're bipolar. I don't, you know, I don't know, Dad. You know, but I know where everything's coming from. It's coming from, you know what I mean, your heart. It's coming from love. It's coming from what the best from me, and this is what they understand from me. And so a lot of times they like, Dad, I'm gonna do this on my own. I'm gonna show you everything that you've done told me and been talking to me, that I've been listening to what you've been saying, and I've been living my life. This is how I'm going. You know, I had a daughter told me today, I don't think I should be working for nobody, Dad. I should be doing my own independent thing. Me and my boyfriend. She got they all had nice young men in their life. They done bought these men. When they have a man, all three of them, and they brought them to me, and like introduced me, like, yeah, you got to meet my dad now, and you know, this gonna make a difference, and whatever's going to go on. But and these guys come to me like, hello, Mr. Green, and you know, nice to meet you, and yes, I'm your daughter, and like on TV, like the Cosby Show, all of them have come like that. You know what I mean? And they've been, and all of the men that they with right now are genuinely good men that love my daughters and are about them and taking care of them and making sure they have the best. And I have to say it's about the things that me and the mom instilled in them about what to look for in life and in a person that's going to, you know what I mean, be with you for the rest of your life, that you're hoping that's going to be with you.
Yeah.
Gentlemen, I've reached my threshold. I got to bid you adieu.
Well, we are also on that last hour, bit that we're going to do. So I'm going to put on some music. And as we normally do, we'll give everybody a chance to say a few words in their closing.
I'm just going to say good night.
Okay, that's your point right there.
That's good enough.
Love y'all.
Good night. Good night.
Bye. In Israel.
Hey, fellas, man, I just to say I appreciate y'all for having me on. And hey, Mo, good luck. Holla at me tomorrow. Let me get some of those flyers.
Okay.
If you got a place in town that you want to go walk around, you know what I mean? I was on the west side a little bit yesterday. We can go to Venice Park, or I don't know where you haven't been.
Okay.
But if you like to go out tomorrow, anything like that, reach out to me and let's just go walk early in the morning, later in the evening.
Yeah, let's link up, because you know I got the Halloween parade thing that we're gonna do tomorrow.
Okay.
So I'm gonna let you know ahead of time. So if you want to link up with that, you can. All right.
We could do that too.
Okay.
All right. So hit me up with that, man. Y'all have a good. Hey, yo, Adrian, nice talking to you, bro. And I watched you here before, and and I appreciate you allowing me to shine and talk tonight, because I know that you're a little bit more involved in the conversation and stuff like that. I've seen that. You know what I mean? And
the wise man.
He definitely was sitting back listening and to the conversation. And I know that he's a lot more in tune to the things that are going on. I appreciate you for giving me that space. I do. I really do. I appreciate that.
It's always a pleasure meeting you, my friend. No doubt. You know, along with Jeffrey. You know, no doubt about that. Jeffrey, when he came on, yourself. You know, I see my girl, you know, Renee in the background there. You know, every now and then she's still up and typing. You know, so we got to give her some shout out also on the side wing there. You know, sidebar is what I call it.
Definitely.
You know, there you go. It's my girl, 82. You know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Wonderful people, man. I enjoy you guys, no doubt. God bless, no doubt.
Yep.
All right.
So, in closing, for anybody still watching, I know it's fairly late in the evening or early in the morning. We appreciate the fact that you stopped by in the New Norm 2.0. We're always about having engaging conversations about what's real and what affects our communities. It's extremely important for us to stay connected, because nowadays things are getting tougher. There's a lot of vague information going out there. We need that clarity to go by. If there's any information that you've seen that's valid for you, that you like, and you find some interest in doing so, you're welcome to go by and come and visit our website at our website is www.thenewnorm.club, where, again, as I say, Adrian did a masterful job.
Can you tell Hank? He's choking up because of the website.
He does a masterful job to administer the website. There's a lot of information. Archived. Our shows are archived. Information is there. Voter information is available there. The vaccine information is there. Additional information if you need. Still today about COVID-19, SARS-CoV-19. It's available there. Go visit our cyber mall. There's lots of information there. If you're interested, also you can leave a note to us if you've seen the show. And if you'd like to possibly talk about something else in the future, give us an idea what you'd like to talk about, and we can bring it up. In addition to, one of the highlights is you have a click that you can just, a little device that you can click on and go visit Adrian at his radio shows, because you can be whether engaging in soca or breakdown or the old school R&B and hip hop back in the day. You just want to take a trip sonically, go visit Adrian and his radio stations there. I've been recruiting
some DJs from around the world. I'm in touch with a DJ from France. She's pretty bad, so we're looking to get some music from her, in English, old school.
Hey, Adrian, can I get a session? Can I get a spot? Because I think that I'm a nice DJ, my man. I got grooves, man. I'm universal. I got universal, bro.
Bring the skills, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm putting the word out for a lot of DJs. I want to see what they got, man. So definitely, you get a spot. Saturday night, 2 hours, 3 hours.
I'm getting your information, dog.
I need your numbers, man. Look,
all right.
I don't want, if you give it to me here, I don't mind, because anybody that calls you, if it ain't me, hang up.
I'm gonna put it in right here. The private chat right here, okay?
So, in closing, like I said, this is the New Norm 2.0 with Mo Delgado. We'd love to have everyone come and visit. We appreciate everyone that came on this evening. It's when we have a full dais that we really get an expansive conversation and give different points of view, because it's extremely important that we respect one another's point of view and have various types of view, because we'll have a well-rounded approach of life today. So, as we say, as my brother Adrian had mentioned quite a few times, be positive and test negative. When it comes to this COVID shit, it's real. Pay attention to yourself. Stay vaccinated for those who are vaccinated. And if you're not, respect you. God bless you. Protect you and protect everyone else around.
Sorry to interrupt, Mo. Hank, I want to touch base with you tomorrow. I'll hit you up, because normally I'll go online from like 8 o'clock till 10 o'clock. But I'll find a space, and I'll show you how I'll be able to actually. Now remember, the radio show actually is nationwide, my brother. So anything that comes back, we go nationwide. So it's not like if it's limited to this area. It's internet radio.
Man, I'm worldwide.
I will make it that way.
Worldwide. There we go.
I will make it that way. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
Definitely. So I'll be in touch with you tomorrow.
All right, cool. All right, y'all have a good night, man.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
All right.
In closing, like we always say, make sure you take care of yourselves. Make sure you take care of each other. Take care of your business so nobody else will be in it. Take care, y'all.
That's right. Have a blessed weekend.